enjoy the show.
Enjoy it.
51 seconds.
Count it.
Till we start the show. Okay, now we got like 30 seconds till we enjoy the show. Cannabis and psychedelic, no second till you enjoy the show. Who's your sophisticated?
Mycelial media.
30 seconds till you enjoy the show. Who's your sophisticated?
20 seconds.
You enjoy the show. About 15 seconds. You enjoy the show. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1.
It's the Who's Your Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. Steve likes the weed. Steve likes the weed. Tell you about DMT. The DMT. Who's Your Sophisticate Show. The Who's Your Sophisticate Show. Losers with the dream. Sophisticated blasphemy. It's the Who's Your Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. So let's set our minds free for the singularity. It's the Who's Your Sophisticate Show. The Who's Your Sophisticate Show.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary, sentient artificial intelligence, flora and fauna alike, to the Hoosier Sophisticate Show, July 20th, the year of our Lord 2020. Steve-O, what a week, buddy.
Oh, buddy, you see this thumb?
It looks like a bass thumb to me.
It's like, oh, it's healed up pretty good. I heal up pretty good when I'm sucking down this native hemp.
Native hemp.
Native hemp. Denison Collard's native hemp extract's best shit going. Buddy, we were ripping some lips. He took me on a journey out into... He's like, man, it's just a little quarter mile. You built us up for it. You were correct. And you're like, it's going to be bush. It's going to be some slick bush.
Gonna be
This is what he
bush.
said, slick bush.
Full
which is weird.
bush.
Full bush, and some parts are going to be real slick.
Real slick.
Slippery and slick.
Freaking nuts.
And then we didn't come back till nighttime. Oh, Jesse Hickman caught himself a pig.
He did get
a
him
tank.
a little tank. He got him a little tank.
And I like the way he held it in the picture.
Made it
like,
look real big. Like,
remember
yeah.
those guys who would drink like jugs of moonshine or like
yeah, you
milk
gotta get
where
it
they
like that.
tip it and then like
Yeah.
kind of like backwards? I thought that was the coolest shit. Yes, dude,
The
you get
old
it.
sideways.
Yeah, dude, I thought that was pretty cool. So you took me on a little journey, got my my pecker up, but I went out with Jenny and my lovely, beautiful, just smoking wife, and the kids. We went out to Merrimack. The Merrimack River, a little bit right past Merrimack Springs.
Okay.
Place called Outdoor Adventures, Fagans. You go to Indian Springs.
Yep.
Just a beautiful part of the Merrimack. Pulled out a couple smallies.
Dude,
couple
looked like you had some
largies,
pretty good luck.
Had a good old time. Couldn't fish as much as I wanted to. Now, if you ask Jen, I fished 90% of the time. If you ask me, I barely fished. I don't remember.
That
even
sounds about right.
I casted maybe 40 times. My problem is I get bird's nest a lot, okay? I'm not going to lie. With them bait casters, I'll bird's nest it up real quick.
Sure.
And then I say the most obscene things when a thing gets... I can't even repeat the things I said. If someone gets that on film, it'll be the end of me. Because I say just awful things about this fishing pole that is an innate object. It's not hurting anyone.
It's you.
I'm the worst at casting. I'm saying it to myself, Mike. Don't get it twisted. I know what I'm doing. How's everybody doing tonight?
How y'all doing?
Good, bud. Married a week now.
Oh yeah, you're an old married. Oh man,
I'm married a week now.
How's it feel?
It feels great.
Oh,
Feels
and it's
real nice.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday
Happy
to my
birthday,
wife.
miss.
No longer my betrothed.
Birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my smoke show of a hot ass piece of wife.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Missy. Everybody wish her a happy birthday.
You know, we
She's
got
vital to everything.
we got a
do.
little something going on behind us here, buddy.
What is that?
Well, I'll tell you what.
It's freaking me out, man.
We've
I see all of
had,
our friends' names on there. Oh,
We've had a little thing for the
a long time.
last few weeks. We've
For a
asked
long
people
time.
to
We're
tag
lazy.
a friend, Tag a friend, win a backpack. They have a chance to win a
was on that
backpack.
thing. Did I get some on my gift?
No thanks right now because they've already been in the
schmegma.
wheel. So.
Yeah, you guys, not only do you get a quality hemp backpack, but you get a piece of Steve's smegma with this backpack. So, Mike, I think what would be fun to do, just to start this thing off, make sure our desktop audio is on because it makes a nice little, fun little thing here.
So click the desktop audio is on. He's on.
Beautiful.
He's,
He's
with
on
it.
it, baby.
He's on it.
So here's what we're going to do, Mike.
He did start the show early.
Go on over. He did. Listen, if you tuned in when the stream started right away, thanks for being a
we had
devoted
pre-stream.
fan. Yeah,
All right.
thanks for being a
Pre-stream.
devoted fan.
Appreciate that.
We were just testing stuff
Pre-stream.
out.
Testing.
The thing is that we were so ready for tonight. We couldn't wait. I'm not going to bring up the fact that Steve he guy works in a head shop for a week. All of a sudden, he's donned and fucking tie-dye here.
I had a headband on while I was on the
I
river,
believe
too.
you. You had a little flower headband.
I did. I am big time with it. I love it.
Just right out the gate, we had some people that participated in this fun little giveaway. This thing's worth $60. It's got a $60 asking price.
360 if you ask me.
For sure.
If
It is
I would
a
ask, I
high
would
quality.
pay for it.
You can keep your laptop in there.
Is it handmade?
Probably.
This is handmade quality shit. We're talking
handmade
here.
quality shit here.
Maybe. Here, this is what I always like to read too.
Yeah, read it.
Thanks for choosing Gypsy Rose. Made by humans, not from robots in a huge factory. Your support ensures their art and culture sustains for future generations. Kind goods, nice folks, peaceful messages, Gypsy Rose. I mean, come on. Support hemp, Gypsy Rose. This is Jason. This is Jason over at Sweet Leaf.
Sweet
This
Leaf
is
Emporium.
Jason at Sweet Leaf.
We got
all
big
day, every
doings
day.
coming down the
This is
pipeline.
so
We can
soft.
only tease a little bit of what's going on, but there's a new location coming down the pipeline.
Festus is almost ready.
Festus is about to
For
rock,
Hoosier
and Hoosier
Sophisticate.
Sophisticate's moving in. It's going to be Grand Central Station. It's going to be the war room, buddy. It's going to be the war room. We need it. Okay? So for all of you who maybe live up closer to the city, this will be a little bit easier drive for you. Come down there. You get the
easier.
same quality products.
I didn't realize it.
The
Festus,
same
Farmington.
quality service. It's going to be awesome, guys.
Same diff.
So, Mike, let's click.
roll it.
Let's find ourselves a winner
Let's
here,
give him a
buddy.
drum roll.
Here we go.
Click that funky wheel, boy.
Here we go. Ooh, that thing's
Who
a
is it?
spinning.
Who is it? Who is
It's
it?
a spinning.
Oh,
Kristen Mertens.
Wow, Kristen. I think she was getting it for her mom, too.
No way.
So this is a true test to see how good of a person she
That's
is.
right, 'cause
To
she-
see if she
'cause it's in her
actually
hands
is-
now.
Because now it's up to her, okay? Now it's up to her. Mike's got it figured
He's on it,
out.
baby.
Jeez,
Kristen, congratulations. Thanks for following along. Thanks for being a fan. Thanks
You
for
did
being
it.
a
Good job,
friend.
Kristen.
You did it. I'll get my schmegma off it before I give it back to you.
Maybe.
I'll wipe it down.
Maybe. Steve-O, what are we going to talk about this week, bud?
Well, buddy, I don't know if you. I put on the page a new symbol, a new logo, if you will. We got a drone, and do we have an ad for you? Sneak in the ad right now.
You want to sneak in the
Sneak
ad?
it in. Give 'em
Guys,
the new
listen,
ad.
listen. The world is in. I got it right here, Mike.
We got a drone. We're running for office.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and kill the desktop audio for a minute, guys. This is. It's important.
This is
to us.
awesome.
This is how we're going to change the world. Everybody right now, they feel a little lost. They're looking for some leaders. The Conscious Party has your back.
The Conscious Party.
My fellow Americans. Oh,
No, turn
take
it
that
off.
back
Healthcare
on.
crisis and is searching
Let's
for
do this.
answers.
My fellow Americans, the world is experiencing a mental health care crisis and is searching for answers. Problem is, we can't see the forest for the trees. The answer is nature, and it's time we decriminalize it. The Conscious Party believes in freedom. Every 25 seconds, someone in America is arrested for drug possession. 1/5 of the incarcerated population, 456,000 red-blooded Americans, are serving time for a drug charge. Another 1.15 million people are on probation and parole for drug-related offenses. The Conscious Party believes in equality. Black Americans are nearly 6 times more likely to be incarcerated for drug-related offenses than their white counterparts, despite equal substance usage rates. Almost 80% of people serving time for a federal drug offense are black or Latino. In state prisons, people of color make up 60% of those serving time for drug charges. The Conscious Party believes in fiscal responsibility. In 2015, the federal government spent an estimated $9.2 million every day to incarcerate people charged with drug-related offenses. That's more than $3.3 billion annually. It's time we take back our country. The Conscious Party believes in love, the Conscious Party believes in America, and most importantly, the Conscious Party believes in you. I'm Craig Kohler, and I approve this message. This ad paid for with money out of Steve's piggy bank he typically uses to buy legal smokable herbs and concentrates.
Ooh,
Conscious party. Try the toad, man. You've tried the donkey. You've tried the elephant. Maybe you've even tried the...
Anal.
Maybe you've tried anal.
Whoa.
But you ought to give the toad a little try.
Maybe.
Give the toad a try. Lick the toad.
Lick the toad, bruh.
Here's the deal. We got a drone. We wanted to do something with it. Perfect. I've circled Craig. I made him wear this garb. I said, I'm just going to follow you with the drone. He's like, yeah, of course. That sounds like exactly something we would do. Yeah, let's just cue that up. We had to reel that one in a little bit, mind you. We reeled that in.
We reeled it in a lot of it.
Reeled it in a lot. I got duped. Personal anecdote here. I got duped by droneregistration.net. So all of my information is out there.
We have to cancel all of our business cards. Steve's like, dude, you're not gonna believe it. We have to register this drone, and me being,
For $5.
Me not wanting to pay for permission from the government to do fuck all. I'm already pissed off about it. He's on like droneregistration.net / I swear this isn't a phishing site / for real. We're not trying to scam you.
Yeah, it was a for real. It said for real internet site right on the front.
Yeah, not HTTPS. A for real internet site.
Yeah, I bought it.
Registeryourdrone.com. Yeah,
I did. I put in all my information numerous times.
And Steve's like, he's clicking like submit, and it's
submit,
clearing all of our credit card information, and I'm like, and he's like, I can't get it to go, and I'm like, probably because they just swiped all your credit card information. You put your social in there. He's like, social, kid's middle name, street I grew up on, mother's
I
maiden
answered
name.
all the questions.
Sure, yeah.
They made me do a quiz, and the quiz didn't work. They made me do a quiz, and it said correct or wrong, and it's legit questions.
Oh, they got
you.
The
worst.
It was like Leisure Suit Larry. Remember the
It
old?
was
It
a subpar quality to
Leisure Suit Larry.
Unbelievably.
Yeah.
I got duped. That's happened. It happened before. Sometimes the student loans. One time, student loans called me, and I gave them all my information. And I called student loans the next day. I'm like, I didn't ask who was that called. Like I just gave them all my information. Didn't really think twice about it. They're like, no one called you from Great Lakes.
They never
and I'm
call
like,
you.
oh no, nothing ever
Only
happened.
the bill collector.
You dig into my shit, you ain't get much. Okay, like you dig deep, digging into our company.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Okay,
Apparently, you registered it when you bought it.
What are you gonna do?
Who said that? Dennison? Because Dennison's the problem. I'm going to fight Dennison Collard. I'll fight him. He makes
Matt Reeser.
Okay, he'll make the best. He makes the best CBD product that I've had in my belly.
I'm glad that you brought this up because this is something that we had a little conversation with our buddy Jason at Sweetly.
Nope. Come back a little bit.
Talking about
Come back a little bit. Hold. Come forward.
Talking about the average consumer
There it is.
going into head shops and places where they might purchase CBD. It's such a weird line that people who are offering quality legal medicine have to walk in order to advertise their business. They can't say anything on social media about it being cannabis or CBD, but hemp's fair game. And the hemp name has kind of been sullied by all of these people who made, you could go into the Body Shop or Bath and Body Works or something and get hemp seed oil for your hands for as long as I can remember. For as long as I can remember. So, which had no cannabinoids in it, right? Like this is not anything that really offered the healing benefits of the cannabis plant. This is the challenge that someone like Dennison has with the highest quality 1,800 milligrams total cannabinoid hemp oil. Is if you call it hemp oil, there is a disconnect in the average consumer who's been able to buy hemp seed oil for the last 20 years.
You know who knows that? Head shop owners.
Head shop owners know that. Because the reality is this was made from a cannabis plant. Cannabis sativa L, right?
We're dicking around with
dicking around with words. It's all semantics. And the reality is that business owners, legal business owners who are offering an amazing product that are helping a plethora of health issues in both humans and our pets, they have to play this stupid game in order to be able to advertise their business through the most targetable marketing tool there is, which is social media. But on the flip side, the boots on the ground, the last bastion and the first bastion of the persecuted smokers, the head shops, which we're going to talk about later. When people come in there, they want to know that they're getting a high quality CBD cannabis product that's going to heal them. And it's a stupid game that these business owners have to have. So I just to clear up any confusion for people watching, and we've had a couple people come to the page, where can I go get some quality CBD? We would not work with Dennison Collard and Native Hemp Extract if we did not think this was the highest quality product
No
that
shit.
you could possibly.
We've tried a shit ton.
We have tried so many, and there's plenty of great products out there. This product and the person who makes it is they're unbelievable. And so
He asked me to work
if you
on the
guys
farm.
need some,
Did he ask you to?
we got to go out there and get some.
I'm not
We got to go
working
out
on
there.
the
He's gonna
farm.
just
He's like,
swing the scythe.
You don't do that.
Swing the
I mean,
scythe.
I've done it. I'll do it. He's like, he didn't sell it very well. He's
If
like,
you guys
"Doesn't pay
go
well.
to
Come on, there's a great experience."
HoogersBiscuit.com, there is a native hemp extract tab. You can click on that. It will take you to the native hemp extract website, and your coupon code is HOSO, HOSO. You're going to get another $35 off the already steep discounted price. You're going to be in like 1,800 milligrams for around $85 shipped to your door.
Come, Jason will match it at Sweet Leaf.
There
too.
you go. Go to
We'll be
Sweet
coming
Leaf
in
Emporium
Farmington,
if you're down in
pick
the
something else
Farmington
up.
area, soon to be in the Festus area. Jason's going to match it. That's what you get for being a fan and a follower of Hoosier Sophisticated, a part of this family. That's all. Yesterday we had a Hoosier whose little baby had a little fireworks burn. Just didn't see where they were walking, stepped on a hot ember, burned the bottom of their foot.
Granted, the
Got some-
baby has officiated numerous. It was actually in charge of 1998 San Diego when they had their big first one. So this baby has been around fireworks a lot. I'm
for
surprised
sure.
this baby.
And hasn't aged since '98, which is strange.
Hasn't. Well, you don't even want to get into that.
Yeah.
Hex magic.
You
Did
hexing the moon?
Did you hex the
You hexing the moon, bro? I'll hex whatever planetary body I fucking please.
How did that get 7 likes?
I'm a grown-ass man.
I said I reserve the right to hex the moon at a later date if I see fit. 2 likes.
I don't pay
Yours is
attention
like,
to those
I do.
I don't
You
pay
like,
attention to those
bullshit. Bullshit. I'll go bullshit on it. Because I pay attention to that shit.
I don't pay attention to any of
Okay,
that.
quick, to get back what we were talking about before I went into the ad. NASMO, Nature and Sports Missouri. Look for us to be doing drone stuff, fishing stuff, kids stuff, fishing stuff, sporting stuff, fishing stuff.
Camping stuff.
Camping stuff, fishing stuff, all that stuff.
Floating stuff, fishing
Floating stuff, fishing. We're gonna get out into nature. Missouri is gonna be awesome. That's just something to look forward to.
Nature and Sports Missouri.
Nature and Sports Missouri. And a big thank you to our patrons who are helping support us right now. We opened up a Patreon. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People are donating to our Patreon. We underestimate. We think we're dealing with a bunch of poors out there, because we're poors.
Well, we're
so I
poors.
assume they're poors too.
Sure.
But some people have a lot of disposable income.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
a-
Don't pre-qualify
Yeah,
people.
come on,
That's
baby.
right.
No, I'll pre-qualify is a better term than judge. But no, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We have been on the phone every day, juiced about being like, okay, now we maybe we'll try this, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll try this thing. We have to get Mike involved doing the drone. That way we want to film a fight sequence. So we can. Mike's already taken over the cockpit here. We'll take it over again. We're going to figure all this shit out. Thank you to our patrons so much. We're going to do something special for you guys. That's all I really want to say about that during the show.
Yeah, it'll
But I just wanna say
it'll
thank you so much.
be a surprise. And what's cool about it, you and I were talking about this today, is like, even when we were kind of as recently as 2 weeks ago, really just kind of questioning what it is that we're doing,
have
the
an
amount
impact?
of time that we're putting into it. This
Doesn't mean
adds
anything.
another. You and I work better under pressure, bud, and this adds an element of, like, I guess it's something to chase, to strive for. This is more than being worth it to sponsors. This is also being worth it to the people who are patrons
doubt.
and part of the family. And if they're going to, and we know them personally, and we do know some of their financial situations and whatever, and they find it in themselves to say, this is a community that I believe in. This is a show that I believe in, and it adds enough value for me to kick a little bit into the kitty. It keeps Steve and I. Now we're like, okay, how do we return this value? How do we give them fair value for the money?
That'll feign.
We will not.
In
Yes.
a
Yeah.
while.
This is,
That'll
if
go
you're in
away.
early, you're going to get paid off dividends.
Yeah,
the later people are screwed.
I wouldn't do it. No, it's speaking of pressure. I never met anyone because I'm a procrastinator. I'm wait till the last minute. We had something to do.
No.
Was that in KC?
It was in KC.
It was in KC. I thought I was late on mine. I'm like, man, I got to wrap up my llast little things. I already had it downloaded, and I just wanted to watch it a few more times and see if the file needed any work. That way, at least I have the file pretty much finished, and I got time for some changes. Craig's like, oh, yeah, I got some JPEGs downloaded and an idea. I'm like, what do you mean? And mind you, there's a chaos factor of rendering time. You don't know how long your video is going. everything relies on this video. And he's going to leave it to render time. And by God.
Well, and it also bears noting that I was planning on wrapping this up while you guys were catching some Z's. We were going to do it the night before.
Yeah.
And we recorded possibly the best podcast we ever did, The Gospel of Luke, which is available.
We're going to put this up on. I'm going to see to it that this episode gets put up on our podcast.
The podcast is kicking back up, and it's
starting now.
But we went till 4 in. I got to hang out with Luke. Mike was with us. You turned in like at 3:30. Eventually, we said I think our goodbyes around 4:30, and you guys went to bed. And I'm like, I better buckle down and get this done. And I started it. Oh no, I didn't start it because Steve went to bed. And I didn't have the Wi-Fi password. And so I had to wait for Steve to wake up. This is like at 9 o'clock.
Could have woke me up.
No, I would never do that. Let the man sleep. He's got a big day tomorrow. So about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, I get the Wi-Fi password.
I'm like, you get that done last night? He's like, you got the Wi-Fi password? I'm like, what?
Threw it together. We skid into the place sideways.
Yeah, he did pretty good though.
He nailed it.
Sideways. That's
the
just
thing rendered and ended half an hour before we had to go. He had time to watch it a few times, make 1 or 2 more adjustments if he needed to. I was like, you mother. I thought I was that guy.
I live on the edge, man. I live on the edge.
And we nailed it. You're welcome, Kansas City.
You are welcome, Kansas City.
Should we talk a little bit about this? Tell everybody.
We should.
Okay. Because I'm going to start talking about cannabis news a little bit after this.
Great. Guys, this pipe here is made by Brian Clark. It's a custom piece. It was donated by Sweetleaf Emporium, and basically what we're doing is you can donate $5 to a Fundly that Steve set up. All of the proceeds go to Nolan's Tribe Cannabis Warriors. This thing it's a really cool piece. If you are a cannabis enthusiast, advocate, this is the spoon for you. Like Brian Clark really knocked this out of the park. The way that cannabis leaf just shines through in gold. It is a thick. Like I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not.
Jason smashes them on stuff just to prove points. Like when he's extra aggressive when cashing something out, whether it be CBD or whatever, and he smashes it.
And if it breaks, it's out of here.
It doesn't break.
I know.
Never breaks.
That's the deal, huh? That's the deal. Go to Fundly.com. Hey,
post the Fundly.
Somebody post the Fundly
link. Somebody post it right now. Because Nolan, I rewatched that video.
I'll tell you what. First person to post the Fundly link on here gets an entry into the pipe.
Okay.
Go find it. Go.
Okay.
Mike, keep an eye on it. Whoever posts it.
I'm watching.
All right.
Nolan's Tribe of Warriors for Cannabis. That's who we're donating it to. I think we were up to
look at you.
12.
I was going to read some comments. I lost them.
Well, I got plenty of comments. What do you want? You want me to
Give
start from the beginning?
Yeah,
From the beginning. Yo, Tyler Morgan's enjoying the show. Nice pine cone opening, by the way. I'm not sure what that means. Hi, friends, from Jenny.
Oh, you got the pine cone in your thing.
Oh yeah.
Not sure what that means.
I'm not sure what it means. Nobody's.
Pine cone in my butt says differently.
I've long thought about like doing a quick quiz, like what are the things in Craig's suitcase as he's packing
that's
for
fun.
the.
What are the things in Craig's suitcase?
Who can name 4 things in Craig's suitcase in the opening?
Go.
Check it now.
Entry.
You get another entry. I'm giving away. I'm giving out entries. I'll cover your $5. Okay, we're raising money here. Let's see here.
I'll cover your 5. What does kid need?
What's the kid need? If you need an entry, I'll give you $5.
I'll give you an entry.
$5. Come on. Hi, friends from Jenny. Hello, our family. Rachel says, hello, everyone. Casey Diane Cyprit says, let's see here. Look at the ring on Craig's finger. Married looks good on you, brother. It sure does. This ring is made of meteorite. It's actually older than the Earth.
Where was that
Nice
night?
Little, what's that?
Where was that ring that night?
Oh,
Remember?
no, it was the next morning.
The next
bud.
morning.
I put my glasses in my
Lost
ring.
inside.
I put my glasses and ring
We both
inside of Mike. I
walked
put
to
them
the
in
car,
a
I'm
bag.
like, let's put it
lubed
right
it up.
here.
Put it in Mike. Put it inside of Mike.
It'll be safe here. It'll be safe.
No,
here, Craig,
so we're
promise
all
you.
loading in the canoes. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be wearing glasses on the river, and I don't want to wear my ring on the river. Mike, can I set these in your door panel? A lot of stuff happened from the time we launched to the time we got back, and so when we got back, I'm like,
Ages had passed for you.
Whose lifetimes? Whose car did I put? I remember it was a black car. I'm trying to put this together. I see John Hendricks later in
You
his
sound
big
like
ol'
every
Escalade.
witness ever.
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about humans.
Yeah, this is a black
Like one, I don't know. The
Yeah,
cops are like, get 'em.
yeah, get 'em. Mobilize.
Every description.
So
ever.
I
It's
go
one
to
of
John
those
Hendricks.
jokes.
I'm like, hey, bud, I think I put my glasses in my ring in your car. He's like, sorry,
funny.
Chief. I didn't park down there. Mike was happened to be sitting in the passenger seat, and he goes, oh, no problem, dude. They're in my car. I'm like, yes. And then in a split second, he goes, and Joanna left.
Oh.
And I'm like, in your car? And he's like, yeah. Well, seeing's overrated anyway. So I had to weather it for about 48 hours. It was no big deal.
That ain't too
I couldn't
bad.
see. I felt
Did
my
you
way
drive
around.
home?
No.
Oh my God! Allegedly.
I did drive home. Let's see. Who else we got here? Jenny Elgin says he's a liar. He fished a lot. Happy birthday, Missy. Our son Oliver also just confirmed that you fished a lot, Steve.
Oliver, what's the deal, bud?
Jenny Elgin says happy birthday,
bud.
Missy. Beautiful singing, gentlemen. Thank you, Casey. We appreciate that.
said
Hi,
that? Who
friends.
said
Hi,
beautiful
friends.
that?
Casey Diane Cyprit. Cyprit.
Thanks.
Thanks a bunch.
Thanks,
hi,
gal.
friends. Hi, friends. Hi, friends. Punctuation is everything. Let's see what else we got here. Howdy, y'all. That's our buddy Josh Loftus.
We got a big one here.
Is
It looks
everybody
like.
just getting tagged up
Dennis
in
in
this?
college got a big one.
He
for
looks
Tyler.
great in tie-dye. Pump the brakes, Jenny. That's my Steve, says Grace. Well, I think Jenny's going to have something to say about that, Grace. Maybe you need to dial it back.
Grace is
Ricky
great.
has the same shirt. I don't doubt it, Rachel. Let's see. Gypsy Rose is a solid brand.
love you,
Cynthia
Ricky.
Smith. Craig better have given Missy a hug for me for her birthday after we got off the phone today. I tried to. She pushed me away due to COVID complications. 22 minutes from my house, says Tiffany Jones. I think that's the Festus location she's talking about. Yay, Kristen. You won the bag. Own it, said Tyler Morgan. I'm a just start honest.
Own
It's
the
going to be
bag?
all I can do to stay awake past 8:30 tonight. Well, maybe take a shot of Go Fast and
Little go fast juice.
little toot there, Rachel.
have
And
anything
maybe
to- we
you're
have
along.
anything
Yeah,
to-
load that guy up. Josh Loftus wants to be the Attorney General in the Conscious Party's administration. Matt Reeser says vote Conscious Party.
Please, yes.
Elgin Kohler 2020. I made it. Kohler Elgin 2020. Can we see the outtakes? There
45
weren't as
seconds.
many outtakes as you'd think, because it turns out I have just got a sweet stroke, buddy. I mean, just a little turnaround jumper, about blew my knee out. I realized the
Did
simplest.
buckle the opposite way.
It buckled the opposite way. Mike
Remind
says
me of
that
my
was
streaming
reeled
pick of the
in.
week.
If you bought the drone, you're registered. Okay, we got that. Let's see.
You really are gonna get
Tribe,
that.
thanks you. Dang, my sister stopped by and I lost track of time. Well, get it together, Jess Exotic Baskin. Ricky Starling. You're funly.com /
Ricky
M2
Starling was the guy?
/ Nolan -S
He
dash
is-
tribe dash class dash giveaway. Ricky Starling's the man. He's going to be in for it. And Annie Meyer says yourmom.com, and I don't appreciate it.
Yourmom.com. Excuse
Actually,
me.
what happens if you go to yourmom.com?
met-
It's got to be a porno site.
Come on.
That has to be a porno site.
on,
I'm
big
doing it.
time
I'm doing it
porno
right now.
site.
Hang on a
Big
second.
time.
Hang
Let's
on a
check out
second.
yourmom.com.
Yourmom.com. Here we go. Let's see here.
You've been there before.
Oh, it's in my search history.
That's why it
Strange.
immediately popped up.
Is it your mama
Oh,
joke?
Apple's really kicking ass today, man.
Oh, are you on my whiff?
Let's turn this shit off. I'm a fucking.
Yeah, to get off my Wi-Fi. You're
All right.
bogging down the.
All right.
road
Let's
now.
see here. No, no.
Yourmom.com.
Yeah, it's not gonna work, man. Your
Who owns it?
mom.com is owned by Nina Hartley, probably. Fuck it.
Nina Hartley.
We'll get to yeah. Good, nice pull,
Nina.
man. Old school, huh? Old school.
She scared me.
Yeah, so that's
As a
pretty
young
much it.
lad.
Let's see. Pipes it sweetly for quality. I dropped mine on my tile floor and thought for sure it would shatter. It's perfectly fine. No chips or anything. James Thomas, our buddy from the KC Weed blog, also posted the fun link.
God
Thank you,
dang.
James. You were a little bit behind our buddy Ricky Starling, so maybe be a little better next time. Second place
Yeah.
is the first loser. Pine cones, slut mag bottle oil, and something I don't know what it is. Grace Johns, I'm gonna need you. Oh,
That was.
that's a great play.
I know.
We got a pine cone, the book, The Ethical Slut, a bottle of Crisco, and something I don't know what it is. Probably a ball gag,
Whip
maybe
the
it's
shit,
yeah,
cat of
probably a
nine tails or
switch.
something.
Definitely a flog. There's a flog in
Flog,
there.
yeah.
Half whip.
Yeah, like a switch, like a cane, a good little bamboo cane. Yeah, it delivers a firm yet gentle reminder. I can't wait. Super fun. We got about 5 farms online. Might be hand sanitizer. Did I miss
Reminder of what?
Did I miss Steve's peeper?
Yes.
You did. Sorry about
that
it.
was on our little
no, you're
mini
good.
broadcast.
Guys, we made it.
beforehand. That was a
We
little
made
mini
it. We did it.
broadcast.
You guys are you add so much to this program, and thank you for
I
doing
love you
that.
guys so much, and I want to
We
add
all
some
love
sort
you.
of value.
Okay, so Mike, I'll tell you what.
Yes, sir.
While I know you're kind of busy, why don't you just toggle us over there to our cannabis? Is that where you were
Yep,
going with
my
this?
dude. Yes, exactly. Where I was
Very
going.
good.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
I've been over at Sweetleaf.
Yes.
Started to ask questions because being at Sweetleaf, I'm starting to see what is actually going on at a head shop on a daily. From my own personal experience, I remember being 18, which is just about 20 years ago now, 17, 18 years ago, and going in there and being like, "Can I get a water pipe?" and all this stuff. And
Had
there
to
was so
watch
many
the language.
Yeah, it was weird. I went to the ones on Gravaway. I went to Eclipse, Area 51. Area 51, I actually found resin in a pipe one time, so stopped going there.
It was resells.
Yeah, so I went to Eclipse. So I was like, "It's a cool pipe. It's cheap, but wow, I can't believe they left some resin and cleaned it all the way out." But seeing how Sweetleaf is really such a cog in the fabric, in the gear house, a cog in the gear house of Farmington, of the community, because they are like it's almost like how I feel myself. In my family, I was the black sheep a little bit, when I talked about weed and psychedelics and how I just thought they might have some medicinal benefits at that point. Now, come 15 years later, I got aunts and uncles offering me pens, terpy banana kush pen. Look, aren't I cool now? It helps with my knees and stuff. To asking questions about CBD and how that can help them and what's the best, and all of the questions they want answers to now, and all of the questions that I had back in the day that they scoffed at. The head shops have been the front line of the cannabis smoker, of anyone wanting to open up their head. And that's what I asked Jason. I'm like, because he's all about the history there, man.
He is a fountain of knowledge.
So if you're going to be there and hanging out, you better learn some stuff. You better respect the game for what it is. Like,
Sure.
Yeah, we might be the dirty little secret of the black sheep, but we've been putting in the man hours, day in, day out, getting people devices and knowledge on medicine. Because back, before you couldn't really say a lot. Now a lot has changed. You can say different things. Mm-hmm. And, I want to get into the history of head shops because I was curious about it. I'm sure some of the people at home, some people claim that head shop stands for, head shop. What is, you kind of understand it, but is that what it is? Head shop. Some claim that it is an acronym for He Eats Acid Daily.
I don't think so.
Okay. Some people claim that it's the Grateful Dead. Deadheads, a lot of deadheads hung around there, so a head shop. If we're talking about documentation, in the 19 teens, someone called an addict a head. And so then the term head became someone who is addicted. So it was like, head shop, man. Here come all the addicts.
People go.
Here come all the addicts. And they started to get, prevalent around the 60s and stuff. Haight-Ashbury. Then you had songs like White Rabbit that were Feed Your Head. So that fed into the phenomenon. And this was the bastion of this free-minded movement, the counterculture movement had a headquarters where they felt safe. Like we talked about game stores before, where I walked into them, like, people are all playing board games here and now learning more about Dungeons and Dragons and like even the Pokemon cards and stuff. Just the community that builds that. These are memories. You talk about, even like pool halls and places that are bastions for these outcasts that are,
It's a place to find the others.
100%, man. So they started selling goods that were considered, oh well, these things are illegal. What are you selling? Well, it was water pipes. It was always all about
selling
water pipes.
Products to smoke tobacco out of.
Exactly, and that was always the thing. So
Which is crazy. Oh, you're gonna use it to smoke an herb that is probably responsible for killing more Americans than anything else, but not the herb that is responsible for killing no Americans.
Right.
Well, it's illegal, you idiot.
Big dummy. You know what? I'm going to try some CBD tonight.
Okay, there you go. And I want to get you guys in on the information about Operation Pipe Dreams. Was Pipe Dreams one of Cheech and Chong's movies?
Nice Dreams.
Nice
That's
Dreams.
what-
Nice
Okay.
Dreams was one of Cheech.
Pipe Dreams. This is no shit, guys. Operation Pipe Dreams was the operation that busted Tommy Chong, and he went to prison for 9 years. You remember it was 2001
With
or
his big
2002.
online head shop.
Big online head shop. Well, there were 2 states, I believe it was Virginia and Pennsylvania. Again, very much semantics in the laws. You could not sell bongs, you could only sell water pipes, and even water pipes, it was a touchy landscape. So Tommy Chong's son was running the company, and so federal agents posed as head shop owners and made him the biggest sweetheart deals in the world, man. Like, woo, come on, ship all these bong, 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 bongs to Pennsylvania, and we'll have a bong-tastic good time. It'll be bong crazy, man. Like just tried to
Bong-alicious, man.
Exactly. They tried to fit bong as many times as they could in there. So what do you do if you're his son? Well, you don't ship them because legally you have no reason to. Fuck Pennsylvania and fuck any government that's like, well, water pipes and this word is bad, this word's good. It's a piece of glass that someone could make, and we'd rather have people smoking out of tin cans. What the fuck? So what does the federal government do? And I think it was about $12 million they spent on this. This kind of ended. It was a shift after these guys got off probation. They spent $12 million. They get people hired. The federal agents have people that apply for job applications with Tommy Chong's company. They get hired there, ship the bongs illegally. Then the federal government comes down on him and arrests him.
Literally entrapment.
That's a setup.
They wouldn't do it. Okay, so there was egg on the face, whatever, of the U.S. government. This was actually September. He was sentenced September 11th, 2003. 9 months in a federal prison. 9 months, okay, and $20,000 fine, forfeiture of $103,000 in assets. And then I want to. This is something you can go to Sweet Leaf and see yourself too. Jerome Baker Designs. They were indicted, and the whole thing went down with Tommy Chong. Except most people got probation. Tommy Chong was the one they really wanted. Jerome Baker Designs has gone like the opposite direction and said, "Okay, as soon as this probation's up, we're going to use the bong. We're going to use the word as many times as we can until we are Mark Emery of Seeds, the Canadian, Johnny Appleweed, who is just given seeds. He goes, one man will destroy the federal government's plan, just like your commercial, to enforce the drug law. One guy can give out enough seeds, and you still want to throw money at it? Good luck." So that's Mark Emery, if you ever want to look him up. But Jerome Baker Designs has gained notoriety for creating Bongzilla, the world's largest bong, which stands 24 feet high and weighs 800 pounds,
Damn
dude.
right. Bring a crane out.
So
You could clear that, I bet.
no doubt. I couldn't even do a 6'1", man. Oof, about ruined
Hard.
me.
It's hard.
But I just want everyone to rethink their thoughts about head shops. Head shops are the spot. Like,
No doubt.
I had to change my mind. I was like, I went to a family event and be like, I work at a head shop now. You know what I mean? Just like, well, if Steve comes full circle, we all knew it's going to happen. But being there, I am so engaged and fulfilled by hanging out with the people there. And it's Jason's teaching me the craft of blowing glass.
I can't wait.
He is
Very,
a
very
craftsman
lucky.
in every aspect. His music, he's like, well, we got to have, you want good quality drums, good quality guitars, so that way the sound is pure. He's
dig
a
it.
purist and goes by a moral code, and he's had to because he hasn't been playing the corporate game where it's like, oh, I got to fuck over a mic here to get a better job than all three of us. And I don't want to sound like I'm sucking him off because I'm going to show a video later of that. I don't want to talk about
Yeah, you don't
it.
want to talk about it. You might,
But just seeing how the people, how much love is spread at that little place. People come in.
It's
I
a
got to hang out
partnership.
with Grace Johns, and now we're going to get to bring a little bit of what we do. And that's Jason, too. Like
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you work here, but you don't you're not I'm like, I'll shovel shit. I don't care what I have to do. I'm just that guy. I got to provide for my family. I do whatever I want. He's like, I see what you do best. You bring people together best. You and Craig. What you do is what not many people can do. And I sometimes have to go, what? Like,
Sure.
The community we're building combined with the community he's building is only going to amplify our bugle noise of love, dude.
I dig it, man. We're just a couple stags bugling, getting in the rut.
God, they're all wet.
They are.
My velvet's coming off.
You brought up a good point.
I did?
You reminded me of something, and that is something that we opened up with talking about Dennison. It's something that we can apply to Lifetime Roofing, to James Carlton, to all of the sponsors that have ever been in the stable. They are love-first businesses. They are people that truly believe in making the community around them a better place. And I think that's something that we have focused community first. I think we've kind of done everything to the inverse of what a lot of YouTube stars or content creators kind of do, and that is we invested in building the community first and make it our primary focus. And then we have these reminders throughout the year when we have in-person events that validate the effort that is going into all of it, because it takes time and effort. A lot of this stuff comes kind of naturally because we just got it like that. But
Yeah,
honestly though, like we put a ton of effort into maintaining and cultivating a healthy family, and family is at the forefront of everything. And when we got hooked up with Jason, it was like it's a family member coming home. It was like, oh, there you are. It's about time we got back together, got the band back together.
Sure.
And the way that he talks to us, the way that he dreams, and not just dreams, but puts action to it immediately, guys, it's going to be a big year. I mean, strap in, because this rocket ship is finna take off.
It's wild, man, because we've been working, but it's not like we work. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
we love this shit. We love what we do. You'll never have to work another day again. And having an almost mentor type like Jason, you know what I mean? He's
Totally.
much older than us. Much
older.
older and wiser than us. But much better head of hair, which I don't quite understand how that, I don't get it. But just that whole vibe is what we want to cultivate. And I can't thank, the fact that people believe in us enough as is, and believe in us enough to use our sponsors and take our word for shit. Mm-hmm. You forget how long we've been doing it, and that we've been a part of people's lives for 5 years, some people, and I can't think about, at your wedding, thinking about my life before all these people.
It's weird, right?
Mother of F. Jenny and I want to renew our vows so
You
we
oughta.
can have
You oughta.
another. Oughta.
Yarda.
Hey, what's that? What's old dude's name? I want to shout him out, Rogue. Brooke Kraushaar?
Oh,
Brooke Kraushaar. I want to shout him out while we're
Kraushaar?
talking about.
yeah. On Thursday, right? He's going to have a little deal that's coming out. We did tell him we would shout him out. So
Yeah, I'm going to shout him out. I got to find his name.
I think
Brooke
it's Brooke Kraushaar. Kraushaar.
yeah, it is. Brooke Kraushaar.
Brooke Kraushaar.
That's my church warden. That's our church warden. That's what a church warden is.
Yeah.
He's like, what's your favorite piece?
It's a
He has a
Gandalf
comedy show. Did you watch any of it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I watched it. Him and his buddy.
Pretty great.
He's like, okay, fuck this guy real quick. Fuck him real quick. Fuck you, Brooke. But he said, you guys, your stuff's more like, not intellectual, but, informative. Mine's more comedy based. And I knew Craig would like that, because I'm like, I'm the funny guy. Like, he's like, yeah, your show's devoid of comedic value. I'm like, that's what I pride myself on. But,
That is fucking great.
but then, so he had a show where he had his buddy who got real high, and he's sticking his finger in like Jello and pudding, and the dude's like, That's Jello, dude. I felt it break through the surface tension, and then it was just all goo after that or whatever. I was like,
I'm with it.
okay, I'll
I'm with
watch a few minutes of that shit. I will. I was locked in a little
So
bit.
I think on Thursdays he's gonna debut
What's
a
the
little
piece
video.
or something like that? It's got some stupid ass name to
Bring
it.
the Piece?
Yeah, no, I'm joking. It's a pretty good.
Bring the piece, I think.
Yeah, I will.
Piece.
Yeah, let me get it right so I don't be a fucking complete
So you don't be a
asshole.
total asshole.
I'll be a complete asshole.
Anywho,
Someone find that for me.
guys, come on. The point is that this community is built on love. It's built on understanding, and it's built on a range of ideas, right? Like people, the group was built where people had a place to come and share.
Bring the peace. You're right.
Share odd
Bring
ideas.
the peace. Follow it on.
Share odd
So-
ideas and
Yeah,
without
Bring
fear
the
of
peace.
totally being dismantled.
Yeah.
And every now and then it gets sideways. We try to reel it back in, and I think it's great. I think that there's always a nice volley and a fairly respectful dialogue. Real quick, while we're talking about weed, a question that was asked, and it is asked frequently in the cannabis groups: when will dispensaries finally open? Well, there are dispensaries open. We can address this every week. It probably won't change for a while. You could have 10,000 dispensaries open in Missouri tomorrow. Well, you couldn't because we're a state run by absolute fucking bow tie wearing dipshits. But it wouldn't matter because there aren't enough cultivation facilities to get product on those shelves. Cultivation facilities, the third one was just granted up in Carrollton, I think the C4 Farms group. Outside of that, it's been Belief, and then it's been Archimedes down in the Perryville area. And so
Archimedes.
they just started growing. I mean, within the last 2 months, or when these grows
Shit grows
have
like a
taken
weed,
off, it grows, but you're looking at a full growth cycle. A lot of the flower that's going to come out, because it's going to be a rushed season, especially with one of the outdoor grows, is probably not going to be
It's gonna be farty.
the highest quality, and
I don't know.
a lot of it will probably be turned into concentrate if I had to guess on it.
I don't know.
So I think that there's going to be a shortage of flour for the foreseeable future. There will probably be a fair amount of concentrates and manufactured goods.
Let him grow.
let
Let
'em
him
grow.
grow.
Hang on.
Don't.
Hang on.
Let him grow, let him grow. Don't hold them back anymore. Let him grow, let him grow. Just let them licenses go. Or Craig will put a gun inside your mouth. He's insane, let him grow. Remember that?
I do remember that. Good tune. So anyway, yeah, dispensaries can open all over the place. We don't have the product yet to
Allegedly.
put on shelves. You know, and that got me to thinking a little bit while we're talking about cannabis again. We have this immaculate conception period, right?
Oh God, stupid.
I know it drives you fucking banana sandwich, and I mean I'm thankful for it because it allows us to.
Yeah, I like
possess-
it. It's just like
No, it's great. No, but here's the deal. There's a gaping fucking hole in it.
Oh.
And what they should have done was they should have allowed dispensaries to immaculately conceive their medicine, at least until the first legal cultivated grow. Now, I understand that's hard. But why?
Thank you. I was just saying, I had to.
I understand like it would be harder to regulate, but you could still do a testing standard on it.
Come on, yes,
the
of
testing
course.
facilities. I mean, come on. So we have unbelievable growers throughout the state, caregivers. I recommend that everybody come on in, dude. We got fans coming up on us.
To instill that law is to instill immaculate conception is to say there was never weed here before we passed the amendment. There was never weed here. We finally let it in our borders.
Thank
Thank
goodness for
goodness.
that.
And that's illegal. You can't bring it in over the borders. So, and how about the clone thing? Them fucking ruining clones for people. People not being able to sell their clones, like, and we see in Oklahoma.
It's ridiculous. Right now,
people,
there's a big gray area on genetics. People should be allowed to sell seeds to any fucking plant, anywhere. It is not on the onus of the... I mean, I don't understand why selling seeds of anything would be a problem. It is fucking insane to me. It is. It's crazy enough that selling a cultivated plant, but like the seed, what are you doing?
Did you see Levon Hamilton? His lives.
No, but I'm a big
in
fan of
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. They had some fun down there.
Nate on Cannabis is also in Oklahoma. There was something called Raised and Blazed or Dazed and Blazed.
Raisin Days.
Our buddy
Raisin
Nick Woodward
Blaze.
was out there.
Yeah. Dab Stars. Yeah.
Dab Stars.
Dude, somebody did a 23
He was
gram.
supposed to do 60 grams.
Well,
I
that's
was watching
retarded.
it live.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, 1998. Hey, Craig.
I apologize. That was an awful ableist
Yeah,
joke. I
it was-
apologize.
yeah, wow.
I'll write an apology next week. Anyway, 23 grams. You want to? We can sit in it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just frustrated. I'm so frustrated. I think it's the first slip I've ever had.
Ever.
Ever in my life. God, I wish we had a dump button. I'm not proud of that one yet. All right, moving on.
moving on. All right,
60
good.
gram.
You feel-
I truly am sorry.
That's gonna hurt.
I'm gonna sit with that for a week, and then I'm gonna go volunteer my time for 2 weeks.
He's a big league closer. He already forgot about
Yeah,
it.
for
Are you
sure.
kidding me?
Moving on. 60 gram dab is ridiculous.
Okay,
23
Billy
gram.
Bong Rips or something. The
23
guy had a
gram.
great name. What was his name? His name was something ridiculous. I'll find it right now.
now.
Billy Bong
Davey
Rips.
Dabs, Danny Dab and Danny.
You're close. Billy Blaze.
Billy Blaze.
Billy Blaze. This guy.
That sounds like somebody in Tombstone.
They
dude.
just keep going. They just keep adding dabs to, and he's going from rig to rig. But well, he was. I'm gonna call him out right now. He was taking little breaks. He was chatting with people. At first he's just going. Sorry.
COVID is a motherfucker, man. We should be doing this in masks.
And I'm like,
I
the
couldn't
dude's
do
not gonna. He's not getting any oxygen.
That's yeah.
And people on the live were like, he's good. I'm like, I don't know. Or we might. I was interested because I'm like, there has to be a first guy to die of weed. and Billy Blaze is it. And he's just choking him back. Well, then they're trying to get more dabs, and he's like, I don't like that rig. Is there no rig in there? And they're like, yeah, let's. He's like, well, that rig's kind of messed up too. I can see. He's like, 60 grams is a lot. He's rifling through it. You know dabs, dude, and they're just taking
I
chunks.
seriously want to throw
They're
up
taking
thinking
chunks
about it.
and just putting it on, like, the rig is, this big, and they're just dumping it on there. So these things, and they're, plugged in. So they have a ceramic heater or something.
Yeah,
so they're heating up the whole time.
Iron.
Well, I'm watching this thing for 10 minutes. Shout out to Levon for putting it on. I think Dab Stars had it live too. He's through it. I see there was a brick, a chunk about like a fist size is about 60 grams of wax or whatever it was. So he's ripping it. They show the pile. It looks like someone just went like barely like a tenth of it. And I'm like, well, Billy Blaze, 55 grams to go, brother. And he was like, and it's sinking into it just because it was so prolonged. You know how some guys do those rips with the real big one, and they can kind of get like 2 or 3 real big rips, and you're like, oh, his first 6-7 grams was just a continuous
Cloud of that.
smoke. Of the thick, and then some of them weren't as thick, so it was like the dabs were still heating up, so it was like he was taking more time. It was making those extend rather than burning them a little hotter. Oh, Billy Blaze. I think he broke a record, 23 grams.
23 grams is insane, dude.
But we'll see where he started. We started yapping. We're gonna stop.
What day was that? That was Saturday? That dude's still high.
Oh, he floated away, actually, above
That magic carpet
Actually, yeah.
just wheeled him
Saw
away.
him leave the body.
Magic carpet wheeled him away. That CBD is good.
1 day ago. So this was 1 day ago. All right. So
Yeah,
that's
he's
Sunday.
definitely still lifting.
They
definitely
they showed a picture of him.
Dude, I saw the picture. He's hanging there like, I have the worst friends in the world. That was a guy that has the best and worst friends in the
He's
world.
still got cotton mouth, I guarantee it. But yeah, shout out to Oklahoma because they just kind of said, oh, okay, there you go, people. There you go.
Josh Loftus said, I talked to a state trooper today after a law enforcement class at Cassville Dispensary and got some clarification on seeds. DHSS needs to chill out and know their fucking place. I will continue to provide genetics openly in public well after December 31st. Right on.
Our dude. You want to hit him with some psychedelic?
You know what? I think we should go to a break first. That'll be a
Okay.
good way to start. We're about 55 minutes
always a
into this
quick
thing.
first hour.
So I think maybe we'll do com break 1. I think we need to we paid for City County Line. We should probably do that at some point again.
Yeah.
Which one do you think? City County Line?
Yeah, we'll go City County
City
Line.
County Line, Mike.
Let's go to City County Line.
Hey there, pretty girl, sitting by the lake down at the old redneck Riviera. Sitting by the lakeside, gonna catch a little buzz.
Hey there, pretty girl.
Hopping on my pontoon, I promise it's insured.
I called James Carlton for the boat and so much more.
Give me that Rita girl, tie up that ponytail.
Sit on my lap, pretty girl, and we will set sail.
Call James Carlton, we wish he were our dad. Call James Carlton so the girls will know you're bad. Call James Carlton, he will insure us all. Call James Carlton, he is fantastical. Call James Carlton,
Yeah, girl.
call him up right
Call
now. Call him up right now.
314-961-4800.
Call him up right now. Call him up
girl.
right now. Hell yeah.
Hey there, pretty girl, sitting on the front porch. Getting all wet cause your shingles all messed up.
Call Lifetime Roofing. They'll get you fixed up, girl.
Fix you up, girl.
Call Lifetime Roofing, late night goofing, got the cinnamon whiskey,
Girl getting frisky.
sitting in them blue jeans,
That's what freedom means.
gigging on a frog pond.
Hearing that sweet sound.
Girl needs some shingles,
Girl, are you single?
call Lifetime Roofing,
For some late night goofing. Lifetime Roofing.
for some
Late night goofing. Lifetime Roofing.
for some late night goofing, yeah.
Native hemp. Sitting right over there, pretty girl.
Realization across the nation.
American made. Infatuation. Got your heart racing.
NASCAR. Homeostasis.
a homeo,
There's no replacing.
Native hemp.
Is what I'm taking. Regulating. Pain sensations.
Okay. My sleep is better. I'm meditating.
From cognitive function. I have more patience. I'm smart.
And native hemp is
Come
what
on
I'm taking.
inside, girl, get you a warm meal. I know you're tired, girl, running through that ham field. Kiss me on the cheek, rope swing by the creek. Ain't no time to sport. Give me all that oil. It's native hemp. 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 It's native hemp.
I'm an outlaw, check it and see. Want a poster looking like me. Checking the swamp man for a pretty girl. Being an outlaw in an outlaw world.
Hey, I'm an outlaw, check it and see. Want a poster looking like me. Walking my hound dog, surfing that swamp. Catching crow that do the sweetly stomp. Everybody do the sweetly stomp.
It's a stomp, it's a wiggle, turn around, a little tickle. It's a stomp, move your feet, head on down to Sweet Leaf. Head on down to Sweet Leaf. Head on down to Sweet Leaf.
Dude, man, get on down to Sweet Leaf Emporium and do that Sweet Leaf stomp, man.
Hey girl, where you wanna go?
I don't care, I just love you.
Are you hungry? Do you wanna get something to eat?
I don't care, I'm kinda hungry.
Well, what sounds good?
Anything sounds good, you pick.
How about some Mexican?
No, I had that for lunch yesterday.
How about we get some Italian food?
Ew.
Okay, now you're not saying anything and just
I
giving
just
me a
want
look.
something delicious.
What does that even mean?
I want to sit outside.
Applebee's, son?
Applebee's
No,
is
Applebee's.
gross.
Applebee's
I'm not
is
eating
good.
Applebee's.
I don't know why you're
Applebee's
always
fries
on
are
Applebee's.
disgusting.
Applebee's is one of
They're
my favorite darn
gross.
places to go ever.
I'm not eating Applebee's.
I wanna go to Truman's.
Let's Let's go to Truman's and Soulard. Go to Truman's. I wanna go to Truman's and Soulard. Take me to Truman's. We agree on Truman's. I agree on Truman's and Soulard. I love Truman's and Soulard. Truman, 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 Truman.
Truman's and Soulard, a place we can all agree upon.
Shut up, you idiot. James Carlton. James Carlton. James Carlton. You gotta get your insurance. Gotta get that State Farm insurance.
You think you found the best insurance agent in the game? Well, I got news for you. I did, and it's James Carlton. State Farm. CarltonInsurance.net.
961-4800.
Hey everybody, I'm just making this post as a little public service announcement. I recently had a roof leak, and I got online and called the hashtag Roof Boys. They showed up and they didn't have a truck. They came out of the woods near my home, which was odd. When they showed up, I'm pretty sure they were children. The little one was aggressive. He was beating on my garage. He was shirtless and had a tattoo that said Bug Life. And the older one didn't have a ladder and said he would climb my roof by getting on the pillar, and he was slapping a spatula around, which I don't know what a spatula does for roofing. So if you want a reputable roofer, I recommend you go to Lifetime Roofing and Renovation, located in Webster Groves. They've been around since 2005, and they're grown men.
Hey guys, it's me, Kippy the Crazy Koala Bear, and I'm here to tell you about James Carlton Insurance.
Kids, quiet down.
It's the best.
Kids, quiet down and listen to Kippy.
Grown-ups need insurance, and Uncle James can help.
Right on.
Grown-ups need insurance. He's got the best reviews on Yelp. Grown-ups need insurance if they want to protect their house.
Yes, sir.
Grown-ups need insurance if they want to properly bury a spouse.
That's a bit morbid.
Grown-ups need insurance if they drive a truck.
Okay.
Grown-ups need insurance just so they don't get
Whoa, Kippy, you can't.
Well, I was just
No,
going to
you
say
cannot.
get in trouble.
Okay, well, it
you
sounded
don't
like you
wanna
were
get
gonna
in trouble.
Sounded like you were going to say something else. James Carlton, State Farm Insurance. You can find him online at carltoninsurance.net, or you can call him at 314-961-4800.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, non-binaries, sentient artificial intelligence, flora and fauna alike, to the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Steve-O, what a break.
I'm having a good time.
I want to, every week we do a little, we talk about the cannabis a little bit. I try to talk about the psychedelics a little bit. To break it up, instead of doing a psychedelic scrapbook as we normally do it, I wanted to have a little conversation with something that's going on in Canada right now. As you know, we talk quite a bit about how psilocybin mushrooms there are a multitude of studies showing that they can help with anxiety and depression.
Unfortunately, some of those studies were end-of-life studies because they're like, we got nothing else for these people. Well, I guess try mushrooms for them.
So-
and they're dying of cancer, and they're like, I'm at peace with it.
That's
How much more anxiety you got than that?
That leads into this, brother. 4 dying Canadians wait to hear if they'll be allowed to try magic mushrooms for their anguish. Let's see. It's been about 3 months since 4 dying Canadians filed applications with the federal government asking for the right to try magic mushrooms to treat the psychological distress that comes with facing the end of their lives. The psychedelic fungi have shown promise in relieving some of the anxiety and depression faced by those suffering with terminal cancer, but the active ingredient psilocybin is still undergoing clinical trials. Victoria psychotherapist Bruce Tobin, founder of the advocacy group Therasil, says completing those trials is absolutely necessary before magic mushrooms can be made widely available. But he believes terminally ill patients deserve compassionate access to something that might help with their anguish when other treatments have failed. Canadian society now acknowledges that citizens have the right to die, Tobin told CBC News, referring to the legalization of medical assistance in dying. How is it that we're going to allow them to die when they affirm that their lives are intolerable? But we won't acknowledge their right to try something that could allow them to continue their life in a meaningful way.
Hey, bud.
Hey, bud.
You mind if I do some psilocybin mushrooms over here to calm my anxiety there, bud?
I got moose in the conifer trees, bud.
Yeah, bud. I don't know what to do with all these waffles and peanut butter. What do they do? What do they do?
Maple syrup?
Yeah, bud. You know, I'm a typical Canadian. I'm real. I'm as real as that drone registration website.
It brings up I think an unbelievably easy philosophical point to drive home to anybody. And we had a run-in with the law on the river over cannabis, and they were talking to a friend of ours, one of the family, who has treated her brain tumors with cannabis effectively, the only medicine that's ever worked for her. And for her to share such a gut-wrenching story, which we are going to feature, our friend Jessica Evans wants to sit down and tell her medical patient story, and that's something that Hoosier Sophisticates can't wait to bring to you. That's amazing. Because stories like that are what compel people to change their minds.
You would think.
All of
maybe
us,
not that guy.
Every life owes a death. Every single one of them.
Hit the pause button.
And it is the most existential reality that all of us can come to terms with. We don't know what the afterlife brings, but we know that this life brings one certainty, and that is death. And there is a lot of anxiety that is coupled with that because of the unknown, because of challenges to our faith. To tell somebody who we only have a third person perspective of what death and dying is, to all of us that are seemingly healthy and haven't been diagnosed with a terminal illness further than just being alive. We only know what people who are dying feel in that moment.
What they tell us they feel.
What they tell us they feel, and how well words. Dying is one of the most psychedelic things that can happen to you, right? And we talk about all the time how our caveman language is insufficient to explain the unbelievable realities and possibilities of an infinite universe, right? And so imagine trying to explain the end of your story without having lived it. It's the anxiety, the trying to forecast what that actually is, and then trying to get other people who are seemingly healthy to understand it, and all of those people tricking themselves into believing that tomorrow is promised. I mean, we're just talking about people who have been given the sentence, and they have to sit with that. We've acknowledged their right to die. We've acknowledged that the state probably has a role in helping them do that, but we are not okay with them taking a substance that could ultimately remind them that their very existence is a part of an infinite reality. And that's just my subjective experience, but it's one that's shared with a lot of people. With the Good Friday experiment. You're talking about, master's level theologians, basically, that had the most profound spiritual experience of their life, even when asked 20, 30 years later, in that moment. Many people who have anecdotal firsthand experience with psychedelics will come back shook, like in the most affirming way, right? Where maybe there was a void of faith, maybe there was a lack of belief, and sometimes psychedelics maybe just, they don't necessarily give you an answer, but they at least give you a little bit further panned out view of what could be. And that can be very consoling. And to think, just like you had to register a drone, that somebody, a free person, doesn't have the ability to usher in death and die with grace on their terms. To think that you would have, that anybody else would have a say-so in that most intimate moment of your human existence is absolute absurdity.
We talked last week or maybe a couple weeks ago, your lyrics were Father John Misty, I'm writing a novel. I can't stop listening to that song.
It's a fun tune.
But, he talks about my reality is realer than yours. And just it's a very profound song. It had me thinking if I had to pick lyrics this week, which maybe we'll do something, but there's a lyric by Watsky that is, I thought I was an atheist until I realized I'm a god. And on an alleged DMT journey, I was anxious about death. I just tweeted out something the other day that's like, Steve, this is to myself, you're dying. Act like it. You're dying. Act like it. Like, you don't have to have a guy in a white coat say, you're dying, better get to living, bud. And you're
That's
like,
right.
oh, no, yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that this isn't limitless. Oh, God, now there's so much I got to do. I procrastinated. But being able to see something so majestic and colorful and bright and warm and familiar
Felt like home.
was such an odd experience that it actually culled some of my anxiety I had about, because people would be like, I don't fear death. I'm like, I am so scared of dying a violent death. Like, no. Like, watching all those cold case files, it's like, oh, yeah, this is going to get stabbed 40 times. Like, that's going to be me, for the love of
Don't
God.
put that on you.
Yeah, I have to say it, though. That way it won't have a reverse psychology. Come on, I know what I'm doing.
Final
I'm not trying to get
Destination was
stabbed.
out for me.
I
saw that and
I'm
I'm
so
like,
famous, I'll get stabbed. Well, no, I'm John Lennon.
You're John Lennon?
But it made me feel okay, because I thought, I don't believe in any of the stories, all the man-made stories that we have to wrestle with, like this religion, oh, who's got the afterlife figured out? No one has a monopoly on religion,
Steve or what was his name? I'm trying to think of The Good Place. The guy on. He got it 96% correct.
One of the greatest.
On a psilocybin journey.
So the fact that there is something special in that psychedelic space that does feel, a lot of people say, I think I'm dying. It's like, well, this is one of the safer than cannabis on a lot of the lists, like psychedelic mushrooms. So you're not dying, but you are dying.
Oh yeah, that's a reality that you better come to terms with.
The mushrooms aren't killing you right this instant.
I wouldn't call it a dying.
You're dying.
No, just being born, you're dying.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
minute
you're
you're
right, my
born,
bad.
you are
You're right.
dying.
Yes.
You're on your. That's the.
right.
That's the only way we're getting out. Like
Yeah.
that's no one gets out alive, Even though that new Eminem rap, he talks
With
about
Kid
it.
Cudi?
Yeah, and he talks
He's gonna be
about
the first
being-
one to beat time. Time's undefeated. I'm the first one to beat him.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, oh, he's got a clone body.
He's got to.
He's got a clone body. He's going to upload his.
He's uploading his consciousness. He's just going to keep recycling it.
Dang, man. Yeah, that's cool.
We got to quit asking for permission
Yeah, I know.
to live and die on our own terms. As long as we're not only are we not hurting anybody else, we're probably helping heal those around us by showing them a healthy outlook on death and a healthy perspective on our way out. Our friend Scott and Seth said, Our friend Scott and Seth said, if I live the life I'm given, I won't be scared to die. And that's where we're trying to be, baby.
Great way to look at it.
Damn, that's
where we're trying to be, baby.
They got a new album coming out too, don't they?
They do, and it's the third Gleam. This is one I've been waiting on forever. Now, Untitled 3 made it, one of my faves. It's not Untitled.
It did?
It's not. I'm sorry, Untitled 4 made it, which is, yes. And
That's the one,
I
isn't it?
actually figured it's not. I love them all. It's a great one, too.
No, that
Untitled
just gave me
4.
goosebumps.
Untitled 4 is a great one, too. Untitled 3 is probably my favorite. But I actually thought the Third Gleam would be a collection of all of those songs. That's the only one that made the cut. But this is just me putting it out in the cosmos. I'm kind of hoping they did it in a wood shed with Rick Rubin tied up in a closet somewhere, nowhere near the mixing board, and it's just a raw
dog.
like
They're just raw dog
emotionalism slash I need it, buddy. I need the second Gleam. I'm getting raw dog by the Avens, man. They do have a new album coming out. I'm pretty juiced about it, and that's something that people
Couldn't tell.
I'll tell you what was great the other day. Someone said it's definitely the soup du jour, the soup of the day is everybody talking about
That sounds
2020. 20, I love that. 2020, man, it just couldn't be any worse. Like,
What do you think about 2020?
Hey, Craig, my favorite. My favorite.
my favorite?
My favorite ever.
Favorite.
What do you think about 2020, everybody?
But actually, this is what I think of it. I'm all in on 2020. 2020 has been a phenomenal year. And I saw Chris Smith said something. God, I love that guy. I love that guy.
man.
But somebody was running the old line out there. Oh, 2020. He's like, 2020's been a great year, man. We got cultivation facilities. We got dispensaries. We just went to the most amazing little wedding in the woods.
Get the likes.
He's just getting it all going on. It's all good. It's all good, baby. And
Think about it. Can you guys really complain?
but for real,
Honestly.
Yeah.
But here's
No,
where I'm
seriously.
living.
I can.
Can you?
Yeah, Steve can
Yeah.
complain about anything.
Yeah.
No,
I hate
no, but think
Thanksgiving.
about it.
Question
Has this
him.
been
I
a
hate
good year
Thanksgiving.
comparative to other years?
This is
Think about it.
every.
This
I'm
year's been
selfish
different.
bitch. Every day gets better for me. It seems like lately.
Yeah.
With
There's
this going on,
good
like-
all around,
Yeah,
man.
that's
There's
what I'm
good
saying.
Better all the
all
This is a good
around.
year.
And
It's a great year. Yeah.
what's the old Mr. Rogers quote where he's talking about, my mom
big
always.
titted bitches?
Yeah, Rack City, bitch. Rack City, bitch. That was the Mr. Rogers. Rack City, all up on bitch.
Why'd you bleep?
One
He didn't bleep out
out of
bitch.
5 bitches.
I know, dude. He doesn't understand how the bleep is supposed to work.
Yeah, well, but it talks about what his mom said, like when you see a tragedy, don't look at the people running away, look at the people running to it. We
'Cause
have
they're
all
the
kinds
prime
of,
suspects.
because they are absolutely
They're
should
an
be
arsonist.
questioned. They should be taken in for questioning.
Oh, fuck.
There's good all around us. It's just what we decide to focus on, man. And
sure.
and that's also, once again, circling back to the sophisticated Hoosiers. Like, what a great little and the Discord. And it's just there's a lot of fun going on with this group. It is. I don't want to call it an escape because I do think that we regularly take on the issues at hand, or at least our
we're
so it's
trying.
not like out of sight, out of mind. It's just that our focus is shifted on how fucking great this group is, how full of talent this group is, how willing to love
call.
this group is, and that I think there are great examples of awesome shit happening everywhere because just like I love the winter. It's all of us versus COVID. It's all of us versus 2020. It's all of us versus the winter. And it's a chance for all of us to actually test ourselves and be like, okay, when shit hits the fan, as it feels like it is now, are we pulling in the same direction? Are we all moving in the same direction? Is it even reasonable to expect that everybody can pull in the same direction? Or do we focus on our little crew, our little circle, our little community, and the tangential communities that it touches, and just try and echo out what it is we're trying to be? We can't stop the bad shit from happening. That's never going to happen. But what we can be is we can broadcast the love that's happening, and that's what we're trying to do, babe.
Yeah, man. When shit hits the fan, could you imagine someone pooping in one of those high-powered fans?
Oh, like the big ass fans. My buddy had one of those big ass fans. They're so awesome.
Pooping on the top of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'd be strange.
That'd be the worst.
Dude, that would hurt so
Okay,
bad.
that leads us right into the next topic. Facebook has censored us before for sharing false
You can go
information.
ahead and skip that over. Yeah.
Boobies and stuff. That doesn't make our group. We're not doing that. But you can leave it on that if you want. No,
You know what?
it's
Run
good.
it back all the way to the beginning. Give it the opening screen.
Yeah, give them the opening screen.
There you go.
We're gonna get to that topic too, but the Facebook censorship. Our personal group has been
Targeted.
Yeah, we've been shadow banned partly because of sharing false information. If someone posts something that Facebook deems as false information, they will shut down our group in the algorithm. So when people like and are more, when they love and laugh at things, it ups you in the algorithm. You start getting seen on more people's feeds. Well, we got shadow banned because a couple people in the group were like, hey, what do you guys think about this? And they're like, well, can't talk about it. They weren't like, this is the real propaganda machine. Here it is. They didn't even take a hard stance. They're like, what do you guys think about this article? Well, we start getting flagged for that. Well, then our analytics start going down. Well, actually, they're on their way back up. We've resolved some of them, and you people have helped us.
Ridiculous because I had to actually explain to them, like show them the analytics. They were down 64% in a 30-day span since they started taking action to our group.
My own feed.
And that was the deal. That's how they did. They didn't ban us. They didn't do anything. But what they did was they said, we will limit how many of your posts that are in the group, even to group members, show up in their scrolling feed.
Group.
Yeah, so you actually would have had to have gone to the Sophisticated Hoosier group, which I never do that. The whole reason I end up in there is because it shows up in my feed, right? It was just, it's ridiculous, and
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, I'm upset.
Jesus Christ.
All right, one of the first things that we said was we were never going to censor speech.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's frustrating to me because recently there was a page that was shared it was called like Cool Boys or something, Super Cool Boys. And what it was a bunch of pictures of prepubescent boys, just headshots, and all of the comments are guys saying, nice. Ooh, that's a nice. Clearly sick fuckers that are preying on children. A dozen of us at least reported this page. It doesn't take much to read into. There's not even like a subtle nuance.
Nope.
It's pretty fucking blatant what's going on this page. Every single one of us gets this message back. We know this isn't what you want, but we've deemed this page to be okay. Now that's okay. But God forbid somebody share an article about a fucking flat earth or about a face mask or about whatever. And what pisses me off the most about that part is we decided that we weren't going to censor speech.
I'm trying to find the post. I'm having a little trouble.
What they do is they mark whatever article they deem having some false news. They put a fact checker on the bottom of it. And then they put the onus back on us to say, hey, if you keep allowing these articles that we deem false in your group, we're going to throttle your group. If you're going to throttle speech, just fucking do it. Don't make me be the actor for your fucking overstepping, like you're book burning. I don't put me in charge of that. If you're going to put a fact checker on it and then start punishing groups for it, then fucking delete the post yourself so that I don't have to go back to somebody and be like, hey, listen, that one rule that we have where we don't censor speech, got to break it in order for this to start showing up in everybody's feeds again. It's fucking bullshit. If Facebook doesn't think that the information should be shared out there freely in any groups or whatever, then you take the fucking action. But they can't because they basically said that they're not going to. They've worked out a deal with the government in order to not get regulated. They're not going to censor speech, whatever. But they do censor speech. They censor speech, and it's all fucking based on what they feel.
Well, that's all the booby pictures that we get. We had the option to approve a lot of those sexual posts, and it used to be stuff that was blatant nudity, and then we went through and it was always getting flagged, the nudity. Then we went through the titty period, the great titty era.
The great titty
GIF era.
Of 2019, early 2020?
Yeah. And that was phenomenal.
The great titty era of first quarter 2020.
That was phenomenal. That was a good
It was a good job.
Halcyon
I think
days.
Alan Shaw was one of the banner carriers.
No doubt,
yes.
Man. So then those all started getting taken down. Then they started peeking back into people's
a year ago. Articles from a year ago.
Deep.
And how the fuck am I supposed to do anything about that?
And then they were like, "Oh, do you approve this message? Do you approve this post?
If you do, you might be in trouble.
If you do, we could deem it
we could shut down your group entirely.
We could shut down your entire group if we had they made us the gatekeepers.
Bullshit.
And you got sentenced to a lifetime deal. You will be flagged for a lifetime
forever.
now.
Yeah, they say that it stops after
because
a year.
of ball gag.
Literally, heads up, just a guy wearing a ball gag. And it was about gagged speech. I was making a post about having speech gagged on Facebook. There was nothing sexual about it.
And then you got to the point where you didn't even post something. It was just in the app.
I put it in the 3D photo app, banned for 30 days.
Done.
I mean, to say, like, it's ridiculous because in this body, if someone said, you can't do that, I was like, fuck you, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't have that kind of control over my digital avatar on Facebook. I'm like, well, I guess they've successfully kept me from posting what I actually want to post, because if I do, I won't be able to engage with my fans and friends and family. You know, it's like, I just, but let's go ahead and just look the other way on just our group. 12 to 20 people reporting that fucking page. Not to mention all of the people calling out the sick fucking pederasts that they were. All of those people fucking, reporting it. No, Facebook doesn't see anything wrong with it. That's why fucking robots can't run the game. That's why. Right there. There has to be some kind of fucking. There has
Let
to
me
be
try to
some
find
kind
this
of
real
reason.
quick, because I want to see what Facebook exactly said, because their response was complete.
Oh, I was
dog
fucking,
shit.
It got me fucking hotter than a hornet. Had me madder than a wet hen.
It's at least it's down in the.
Fuck them.
How would I even search that? What did
Bottom
someone
line,
say?
they said, "Hey, we realized that we put
There's
this at the
a
top of our
hearing.
priorities, and obviously this is being flagged a bunch, and we still don't see anything wrong with it." Listen. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, right? And you can buy into as many of them as you want, or discount as many of them as you want. I think most of us are fucking sick to our stomach just about the number of missing kids that goes along. The fact that trafficking rings are being exposed on a regular basis.
Got it. We understand that this is not what you wanted, and we want you to know that we take your report seriously. Facebook is a global community, and people may express themselves differently, so we only take down content that goes against our community standards. We review these standards regularly with the help of experts. However, we understand that people can feel hurt or offended by things they see on Facebook, even if they don't go against our policies. If this is the case for you, you can hide the content, or unfollow, or unfriend, or block the person or page who posts the content. We use a combination of technology and people to review reports. Our technology reviewed by your report, and ultimately, we decided not to take the content down. If you think this was a mistake, you can request another review.
Yeah, I
Reports
request
like
a
yours
human
help us
review it.
make the experience better for everyone. Thanks for sending us the report.
I request a fucking human review it, a human with the heart. Basically, Facebook has asked me to turn a blind eye to a bunch of fucking old men ogling fucking young boys, and it's unacceptable. However, God forbid someone shares a sexually charged meme in a group full of adults who fucking joke about sex
that
all the
entered
time.
into that bond themselves, that chose to come into the group.
It's ridiculous, dude. Pisses me off. I want off this fucking rock. When I say this rock, I mean this shitbag platform.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look up 37,000 people like it, and it's straight up kids from different countries just being ogled by men saying
The comments are absolutely
cool.
disgusting. Dude, I couldn't do
They
it.
have more views than our show.
First post, I started reading the comments, and I'm like,
It's fucking
You had better, like,
disturbing as it gets.
it's
dude.
the fucking worst thing ever. But I'm supposed to ignore it because their computers didn't see anything wrong with it.
Seth posted something about Tosh.0. YouTube is culpable in this too. YouTube will take down videos that feature any sort of like drug use, but I'll be damned if they didn't have super cool chicks, or it's the seven cool chicks, 7 teenage girls, 7 something. A girl licking, a little 11, 10-year-old girl licking whipped cream off of a table. He goes, here's Love Me Do by the Beatles. It has 40 million views on YouTube. This video has 140 million views on YouTube. Oh, altogether, these super cool girl things had 400 billion views between them.
It's disgusting.
Some of them, I found one because I heard an article, and Ivan, we give him the phone sometimes. Well, it's YouTube Kids. Well, they found a way to get into YouTube Kids where this little girl is being tied up, like by another kid with the adults, like saying, "Oh no, this is a
Damsel
robber."
in distress.
And I'm like, no. This kid is being tied to a bed in an overtly like sexual way that is fucking disgusting. And YouTube's like, oh man, you use some music in your content. How dare you? Fucking Metallica and Napster, they're worried about song licensing while we can't have an algorithm that finds kids that are tied up or find these fucking people. It's sick.
It's disgusting.
800,000 kids go missing. Good news is a lot of them come home, or a lot of them are taken by like a parent. Not good news, but I thought all those went missing in America. I think it's like something like 60,000.
Fucking ton, man. Fills a football stadium.
Go missing. Children that they're like, a lot of times in these cold case files, they're like, well, we got to wait a certain amount of time before we, start. And it's if you don't find that kid or whoever in the first 48 hours, that's why that show is called that.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, because it's real tough after that, man. So it's wild. Everyone just needs to have this in the back of their minds. I don't want you to dwell on it all
yeah,
day.
'cause people
but
will
just
get ate up
know
with
this
it.
is fucked up, man.
People will get ate up with it, and listen, if our kids can't trust us to to protect them, what kind of world, what kind of outlook for the world are they going to have? What does the world look like tomorrow if all the fucking adults abandon those that can't defend themselves? And when we talk about fucking censoring speech, when we talk about, let's get our fucking priorities straight. And you know what? Maybe they keep it open. Maybe the FBI is using it as a fucking way to sting them one at a fucking time. I don't know. I don't know.
Truly.
I hope so.
Truly.
Because there's no way that a person of sound heart and mind could look at the comments on them. The pictures are seemingly innocuous. Just cute kids, little headshots, model headshot. Grown-ass men saying the fucking grossest shit, looking at them like fucking dinner. That shit it's got to stop, man.
And now that, I actually saw the video a few years ago when I went down that fucking Pizzagate.
the worst, dude.
But where there's a legitimate political organizations that are like, no, we are, even if you watch the 60
How to
minutes.
normalize pedophilia.
Yes. The 60 minutes from Australia, or 2020 or 60 minutes from Australia, the Australian version, did a documentary, a legit, mainstream media, whatever you want to say. If you don't believe the YouTube people, maybe you'll believe this, because this is their thorough reporters who talked to victims of, it was in Australian Parliament and British Parliament, and they could name things about these guys' anatomy and genitalia that they would have been kids, and it was like the son of the chauffeur, or always these kids that were kind of available. But hey, your mommy and daddy's lives, I own their lives. Therefore, I own you. Like, that was the most eye-opening thing to me, that this world exists on it's not like, oh, this person's successful. No way they could be a part of that kind of sick shit. And it's like, well, they come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. It makes me realize how much those heroes are who pose as 12-year-old kids online, and then they're like, oh yeah, motherfucker, guess what? You're on YouTube now. I'll call the police, and the police are like, well, he didn't actually do anything yet. In a lot of those cases, it's like, because a lot of those guys in that show got off Dateline. I know they're probably ruined, thank God. But a lot of those guys, like Mike, got off when they let him, when he showed up at the Zima and the condoms. Sorry, Mike, I had to.
You know
I had
what?
to get us out of it. I had to get us out of it. Okay. Hey, just stare blankly at the camera.
Funny. That's the funniest shit I've ever seen. Oh my god, it's hilarious.
I am interested to see what kind of, with this Ghislaine Maxwell chick.
Whoa, buddy.
There could be some massive.
WikiLeaks just released
I heard they dumped everything. Which I heard that wasn't that supposed to be the trigger that he was dead.
They did have a video in there, which I just started clicking on ones that I thought were interesting. And there is a video of him. I think it had like a newspaper or like a date in there, and then scanned to him that he was still alive.
Okay. All right.
Because it's it's probably not everything.
I
don't think it's everything.
I heard they dumped a bunch.
Oh, and just wait. The sleuths will be going through it these next couple weeks, because it is Dude, it's just a file dump. It's like
Yeah.
if they've had a
It's
zip
everything,
drive
dude.
that just, and so it's just things you got to click on, and
Dude,
it's
so,
wild.
I mean,
dude.
we also maybe need to come to grips with or prepare ourselves for the fact that the high-profile names that she might be privy to doing horrendous acts. Woo! I'm not even talking. I mean, like, conspiracy theories aside,
Yeah.
there are implications that there are going to be some very high-profile political players, probably celebrity players, people that we probably
From
have
around the world.
some kind of attachment to, a nostalgic
affinity
attachment
for.
to, an affinity for, an admiration for. We might find
good.
out
That
some
was
shit.
good.
We might find out some shit.
Oh,
that
we're gonna find
that
if
is.
she stays alive.
Change our fucking mind.
It's going to change our minds, dude. I remember a couple years ago, I used to think Kevin Spacey was the most talented person in Hollywood. He probably is.
Yeah.
He probably is. And when that shit came out, it was
And it got
fucking
weirder and
heartbreaking. And he fell down. Like, it was almost like he assumed the role. He became Frank Underwood.
He had those
right?
videos come out after he
So
got fired from the
weird,
show.
dude. So weird. And I mean, he went from a person that I admired, like his ability to, he's great impressionist, unbelievable actor, played some of my favorite roles in cinema history, to, oh, you sick motherfucker.
That's like Cosby too. Like,
Dude, I mean, this
Cosby
is
didn't
happening-
like when people went blue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, I remember him being like, "No, that guy
Don't
cusses
say foul
too much."
language. Yeah, for
and
sure.
I was like, "Damn, this dude's so wholesome." He's like, "Shit," you know. He's like,
Still finds a way to be funny, and he just,
Jesus, I was way off about that one, man. I got duped big time.
Man, I guess it's one of those things. Like, we don't want to accept that people, not necessarily heroes, but people that we admire might be monsters.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And then we also have to detach. This is a weird philosophical thing that I wrestle with all the time. You know, we find out maybe things that are bad, or, you know, seemingly what we would consider just heinous acts by people, but they also happen to have created some of the most unbelievable art that we've ever seen, you know, or heard. And, you know, is it okay? Is it healthy to detach, you know, their art, their creation from their evil acts? I think so. I think that the world looks really bleak, especially in this revisionist history way, where we kind of go back and we want to. We have more data than we had then, and so this person was a monster that lived 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Yeah, but they had some really great ideas. They maybe invented calculus, or I don't know. Just like, think of any of these great thinkers, philosophers, things like that, being a victim of their times, just a proxy of their times. Do you discount all of the good ideas that ultimately they had? You can apply this to all of our founding fathers. You can apply this to, I mean, great thinkers throughout the years. I mean, the world being rid of racism is a fairly new concept. Not just with African Americans and people of color. Like, this is just something that we've been tribal by nature, and part of keeping your tribe strong is defeating the other tribe. You know, and so I think about, you know, musicians, artists that have written songs. I mean, Jimmy Page. I mean, there are implications back in the '60s when a lot of the greatest rock stars of all time, their groupies were teenage girls.
Way
you know,
young.
I mean, up through fairly recently in the present. I mean, you have someone like R. Kelly, who's got a catalog of number ones.
What'd he do?
Piss on you. Drip, drip, drip. But, you know, is it still okay to enjoy the art that they created? Do you cast them out of your existence altogether? Do you say, man, that guy could write a song, but he was a real piece of shit? Yep. You know, I mean,
listen, I wake up every morning till I believe I can fly. Just from
I used to,
always
man.
done
Our
it.
youngest, Trev, would sing it around the clock.
I believe I can fly.
Because it used to be like a Vine that he watched. It was just rough, bud.
Yeah, it's tough. You can disassociate. You can do whatever you want. You're an adult,
No,
right?
I know.
You can
I know you can.
disassociate.
Do you feel comfortable doing that? Is it still? Do you still feel okay celebrating?
I'm moody.
Kevin Spacey's Kaiser Soze and The Usual Suspects.
It's hard.
You know?
It's a
Like
lot harder to
American
watch 'em.
Beauty. Like it's tougher, right? Like
I guess I can probably disassociate it and just kind of keep that knowledge in the back
still
of my
appreciate
head.
the fact that that was a pretty
Yeah,
good
it
movie.
was
It was
good.
made with.
I don't want
want
to support anything, though. I don't know if watching the movie is supporting him financially. How? If it's just.
I mean,
About it. He played a role and got paid for it. Either way, they get paid
I know.
some sort of way.
yeah.
Well, I'm pirating it.
Yeah, okay. If you only pirate Monsters work, then you're good, man.
Yeah, so we're good.
Stealing from the Steelers.
No, what if you bought it a long time ago?
Well,
You donated.
Well, that's. I mean,
the DVD, no.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, you might be past the point of no return.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
It's just a weird thing that I think about often. It's like, you know, there used to be a world that existed where people had closets and they had a place to keep skeletons. You know, and that world doesn't really exist anymore. We live out in the open, and we're better for it. We're experiencing a more, I think, empathetic approach to life, a more holistic understanding of each other. But there's also it also sharpens divides in certain ways. Like the things that people spend their days.
We're so weird.
The things that people spend their days arguing about.
Now
like
that we're in everybody else's head, you know, I used to think everybody's probably pretty similar to how I think most of the time, and it's like, no, not even close. There's so much division going on, and I wonder sometimes if that's a manipulation.
I think
or
it's
if
a mass
just
manipulation.
or if it's just our nature to want to be divided at the same time we are being divided. It's like, yeah, I know we are friends, or like once they get into the groove of the tribe and come to a cotillion, we commented on how our darkest, hardest friends, who we love because they're like, yeah, whatever, your love is so
Hold hands,
great,
guys.
cool, yeah, awesome, woo. They were at your wedding. They saw how many people were affected. They saw the dancing. They saw the singing.
Shit's
They
contagious.
saw the love. They came up and made special. They're like, "This is the best wedding I've been to." I'm like, you of all people coming up.
At
Dude,
the end of the weekend,
one of them
I
said-
got more hugs from people that I never met by Friday and Saturday night that they
I
were just
know.
like,
That's
"Man,
the
I love
idea,
you,
man. I
And
mean-
I'm like, I love you too.
The blackest heart I know came up to me and said, "I learned how to love this weekend."
Fucking amazing.
That's a
Unreal.
powerful fucking statement.
Unreal, dude.
That's a powerful statement.
Well, that kind of leads us into our next topic. We had it on the screen. Can love and anger exist together? Because I often ponder. I want to try unconditional love. I want to do unconditional love, where Duncan Trussell talks about it. He had one episode, kind of changed my life. Look at everything like a teacher. Like, oh, it's making you mad. Well, it's a teacher. If it's upsetting you in this way, well, it's a teacher. It's just teaching you patience, teaching you all these different things. So I asked the question: can love and anger exist in this, coexist? And everyone's like, hell yeah, man. And I'm still kind of on the fence about whether anger is a serving emotion.
Okay, so
And that's how I back that question up.
yeah.
I think I can kind of get my neurons to go monk mode eventually and say, oh yeah, nothing pisses me off anymore.
It's not super
am
healthy.
I living my best life?
No, it's not
then?
super healthy.
How? In what way?
I think that we just had a very prime suspect or example of anger and love coexisting. We are angry that monsters are out there preying on our children, but it is love that motivates us to save our children. It is our love for them.
Sure.
Anger serves us in the sense that it makes us vigilant, right? I do think that
You
anger
can be
most of the
vigilant
time-
without
you
anger.
could, and I would say we don't make decisions in anger. We've talked about this many times.
Yeah.
I'm not a super angry guy,
You're mellow as it freaking gets, man.
but I pop for split seconds. It's a steam valve, you know. It's a steam valve that you gotta fucking just let a little bit of it out, you know. I think anger is something that you have to recognize. You can't run away from, because if you do, it slowly eats at you. I mean, it's something that exists regardless of if you think it does or not, right? So it's a totally healthy
Is the Dalai Lama getting
emotion.
pissed off?
Oh,
about
I'm
stuff?
sure. I'm sure he gets angry about plenty of stuff.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, consider the plight of the Dalai Lama, right? Like, he's got it pretty good where he's at, but the lamas are, I mean, in Tibet are, they're
Sure.
cast out.
And they're
cast out.
You
That's
have
something
an
that-
option to get mad about that. Is the anger serving your overall being in the long run, or because you don't make decisions out of anger, or you shouldn't, immediately processing that anger emotion, that thing that would typically make you angry in a visceral way, in a reactionary way, if you immediately train yourself to go, look at this with a loving heart, absence of fear, absence of anger, let me assess this situation this way. Okay, yes, all of these bad things are happening. What can I do? Love, knowledge. What can I just wonder if I am on a fool's journey trying to get to a point where I am so zen that nothing pisses me off, or am I just like Fun Bobby from Seinfeld or Friends, where they're like, Fun Bobby doesn't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Steve doesn't get angry anymore. We don't like him. He lost all of his personality. I know that's not true.
I think that I mean, anger is. It's something that I don't like to dwell in anger.
Yeah.
But to deny anger is like, it's a fool's errand, right? Like,
I've tried to get angry about like sports.
Oh, and I've told you easy ways that I pull myself out of anger. Like, it's so foreign to me that it doesn't take much for me to just snap right out of it.
Sure, and usually like it's an innate object, like my fishing pole or something like that.
You want to see me angry? Ask me to do the most menial fucking task around my
That's
house.
what gets him.
And I fucking lose my mind, dude. I was trying to mount my fucking tractor tires for my lawnmower, and I got nothing to mount. I'd have nothing to put the tire machine on that has enough juice that I can attach, a nice solid firm base so I can get a little leverage on there to get the mother tire onto the mother rim. So, I have to walk away from it for a minute. I'm banging shit. I have gotten better in my anger that I don't just slam the first thing near me. I try to find something that can withstand a good, firm banging. But I got to bang something. And I'm going to bang it real good, bud.
Puncher too. I punch.
I got to do it. I don't know that I can fix a fucking light switch cover without motherfucking it twice. Like, oh, screws don't want to fucking match up? Where's my flathead screwdriver? Are you a fucking butter knife? Fuck! That's me. Like, that's where my anger comes out. But if someone is, repeatedly fucking up in their life and it somehow kind of bleeds over into me making a response to that in anger never typically leads to a future scenario in that relationship with the person where I only do things I regret in anger, right? Anger, there's always a regrettable action that is attached to my anger. And so I feel like I'm presented with it. It's healthy to be presented with it. I'm like, oh, hey, I recognize that thing kind of annoys me, and we should probably avoid that thing going forward, but my anger is not me. On to the next thing. I got to get the next batter out.
Big league closer mentality.
I got to get the next batter out.
You know what pisses
I
me
walked the guy. I fucking walked the guy, all right?
I'm gonna transition. We're running out of time here. The black bagging that's going on, that pisses me off a little bit.
Should piss you off. The federal government should not have a police force.
Federal government's got jackboot thugs out on the streets. They said they're maybe going to take them to Chicago now. Trump said, these guys are unmarked. This is wild.
It's weird.
I've often thought if an unmarked police car, an unmarked vehicle, I've watched too much Cold Case Files. Yeah. I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's Anton Chigurh in that cop car. You know what I mean? Coming with his little bolt action thing.
Sure.
The little, what I'm talking about?
I'm with you. Yeah. The DC Sniper? No, that wasn't.
No. Anton Chigurh. It's not No Country for.
Oh yeah. With the bolt that they kill cows with, little cattle
He came
gun.
up in the cop car, and then the guy pulls over. He's like, "What seems to be the officer?" He's like, "Stand up, get outside for a second." And he's like, "I just got to put this on your head." He's
Listen,
like, okay.
I would not get out of the car for a guy that looked and talked like that.
Yep.
As soon as he started limping towards my car, I'm fucking gunning it, guy.
Shit, dude.
I'm way gone.
No, you're not.
I'm way going. We're going on a ride, Mr. Police Officer.
Yeah, you gotta run from the cops because he has a Prince Valiant haircut.
It is a Prince Valiant haircut, and he's dragging a bum fucking wheel.
With
That
the
is no
oxygen
officer
tank.
fit for the force. I see right through your ploy, sir.
I always thought I would call you can call the line and be like, they called in someone being pulled over. Like, I got a sketchy vehicle with like a hunter type light on there. We're like, boop, just put one of those ones on there. I'm not pulling
Hunter,
over for
good pull.
anything. Thank you. Heat of the Night. That was a good show too. I didn't watch it ever. But
fucking open.
you gotta be careful. That's nuts. And I wonder, you try to do that to the wrong person who's got a little loose cannon in them, and they're armed themselves, and they're like, "You better tell me who you are."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "No, we don't. We are going to take you against your will somewhere." And they're like, "No, you're not." Like Ruby Ridge right here on the street, motherfucker. That's a anger, fear-based thing. That's why I feel like I'm trying to get away from that. Does that go away? When you start eliminating, and maybe I should focus more on fear, the fear aspect, than the anger aspect.
Fear and anger are many times attached, many times rightfully so. But then we also have major civil unrest the last few months, and anger is the catalyst, right? I've had enough of this shit.
Yeah.
It's time for you to fucking start respecting me so that I can be the love and light that I'm trying to be in this world.
Sometimes you got to
motherfucker, it's time. Yeah, I'm at the table now.
And light
You're goddamn right, And so now anger can still motivate you to act out of love. So that's why I think they coexist. Because anger is not it can be motivating.
Yeah.
But it's not super compelling in the sense that it doesn't change a lot of minds, right? It motivates people who agree with you and already perceive the injustice.
And then you have passion next to anger.
That's exactly right. And then that passion is like it's the cartilage between those two. It is the thing that it moves between, right? And then you can show people through love who maybe just were ignorant and to no fault of their own, simply because of perspective. Love will motivate people to your side, showing people that you're just trying to enjoy the same life, the same liberty, the same pursuit of happiness that they're trying to enjoy. You're not asking for anything extra. You're just asking to be seen as an equal. When you're able to communicate that, people are far more likely to be like, yeah, fuck it. Of course you deserve what I deserve. I didn't do anything more than that. Man. However, if your anger carries over and you find a way to motherfuck people who could otherwise agree with you, be in agreement with you, they're going to dig their fucking heels in.
That's where I'm.
And they're going to say, if that's who you're trying to be, if this is what we're trying to be going forward, then I'm not in.
Fucking nailed it.
Then I'm not in. And that's how I think that they coexist. Anger rallies the troops. Love compels the enemy.
There's a Duncan Trussell. I want to get the lady's name, but they talk a little bit about that and how that, and she's Brandy Jordan on the Duncan Trussell podcast, and how cool, calm, and collected, and how immense the ideals they're talking about, and how important they are, and how the balance of that anger, passion, assertiveness, all these things that are the magic little mix to get your point across to the most people in the best way so that you can, because right now we do live in a time that says we would usually agree on shit, but if we all come at each other with some attitude,
we do it all the time. We'll get chippy as a motherfucker. After a couple of hours, then we're like, hey, you know what? Though,
we're rowing in the exact same direction all the time, and I'm like, fuck that dude. You don't know nothing.
Hey, I think we should go to a commercial break, Mike, and then we'll come back. We'll do some stream picks of the week and wrap this thing up. What do you think, brother?
Okay.
That was a great talk, man. Hey, what did the people think?
What do you guys think?
Shake that dick. Take us to commercial break, Mike. Go on, kill them mics, brother.
All right, buddy.
James Carlton Insurance 314-961-4800
astonishing,
Astounding.
fabulous,
Incredible.
fantastical,
Phenomenal.
prodigious,
Stupendous.
unbelievable,
Wondrous.
divine.
Fantastical.
No, seriously, he's fantastical.
You got a house.
Go on and get it insured.
You got a car.
You gotta get it insured.
You got a life.
Go on and get it insured. CarltonInsurance.net.
Do you take our insurance and are you cannabis friendly? And they all said no. And then at that last phone call, that 8th phone call, I was like, do you know anybody that is? I'm desperate. I've called 7 other people. You're my 8th phone call. At this point, I'm crying my eyes out. And this lady just felt bad for me and said, hold on, let me call you back in a few minutes. And they called me back and they said that they would take him, but under a certain amount of conditions. And the main condition was that if they felt that cannabis was not working for him, then they would take him from us and put him in and Child Protective Services, and then they would take the other 2 kids too.
Oh.
Because they were both underage.
Then-
and we would be charged with child endangerment.
So they'd go to federal prison.
Yeah, we would go to federal prison. So we said, bring it on.
Come to Pruins, I got good fries.
This is one of the best Cubans. I try a Cuban everywhere I go. And this is one of the best damn Cubans I've ever had. And we've got a little white cheddar mac here with a little cracker mac. Life-changing, incendiary.
Everywhere I go, I try the Cuban. This time I didn't. I got the grilled cheese bacon burger.
Look at that thing.
With put some pepper jack on there, some jalapenos, and we got some crinkle fries. And all I can say is, oh baby, grow baby.
As you can see, this was once a delicious plate of coconut scrimps, and I devoured it. And if I had to say, if I had to give a review real quick, I'd say it's an orgasmic feast of the senses.
And I love meat.
Now, I might not know a lot about chemistry, but what I do know, it's likely that the hydrogen atoms inside your body are about 13.5 billion years old. And I might not know a lot about nanotechnology, but I do know it's important in quantum computing and the eventual takeover by our machine overlords. And I might not know a lot about otters, but damn is it cute when they hold their hands as they go to sleep. But what I do know is the correct bait to use at what time of day to catch you a real nice hog of a largemouth bass. And what I do know are the beautiful intricacies and sensations that is the cannabis plant. And what I do know are how psychedelics can help heal the nation filled with pain, trauma, and anxiety. I believe in America. I believe in the world. And most of all, I believe in you. Thank you, and I approve this message.
This ad paid for by Mycelial Media, mainly out of Craig's bank account, so please don't tell Craig that we are paying for it out of Mycelial Media. Thank you, and goodbye.
We like movies, so do we. We like internet, so do we. Streaming pics of the week, Amazon Prime. Streaming pics of the week, Netflix. Streaming pics of the week. We like the internet too. We like the internet too. We like the internet too. We like the internet too.
We like our patrons too. Can't believe we got some. We like our patrons too. What are their names? Jesse Hickman and Jennifer
And Nancy and Annie Myers and Nathan and Heather and all the rest of the crew.
and Christopher Rachel
Crawford, who's already in bed, but she's Rachel Crawford. We watched this week, Steve-O.
Oh, buddy, they finally released it on Netflix. It's called The Last Dance. It is the Michael Jordan.
It's on
documentary.
Netflix. This was an ESPN.
It's Jordan. It is Pippen. It's Phil Jackson, and it's Rodman. They had unprecedented access back in, I think, Jordan's rookie year was maybe 86, 87. And then they gave a film crew like unprecedented access one of those years, but never really panned out. I didn't know Chicago was like the laughing stock of the NBA. They hadn't won anything. No one came to their games. Their building was empty before MJ got
The Pistons were a real powerhouse at the
there. Oh,
time.
yeah. Milwaukee Bucks were
Got that
beating
from-
up on them all the time.
Got that from New Girl.
Good for you.
Yeah.
But, you know, like MJ was like the Celtics, the Sixers, the Lakers. We want to be in the same company as all them. I didn't realize how good he was in college. He hit a shot to win the NCAA championship. Like I was like, damn, this dude, MJ had a pretty decent. Because I didn't know if his college
Nice
career
little
was
run.
that good. Yeah, he's Player of the Year. And do you know the two picks who went before him in the draft?
I don't.
Akeem Olajuwon and Sam Bowie.
Oof.
Yeah, that was.
Akeem Olajuwon was a good pick.
Olajuwon. They said everyone was going to pick Olajuwon. Didn't
Had to.
matter. And everyone thought
One
they
of the best
needed
big men of all time.
Everyone thought you needed a big man.
I was a Rockets fan growing up, man. So
There you go, dude.
Akeem-
And then when they
Akeem
got
the Dream,
Clyde the
Clyde
Glide too. Didn't he come to
Robert
Houston, or
Ory,
did he
Sam
go?
Cassell. That was my
Yeah,
that
was
was
a
that was
team.
my team back in the
Oh,
day.
Big
man.
Shot Bob was the man.
Big
dude.
Shot Bobby.
Ooh. So I'm one episode in.
Oh, it's multiple episodes.
Oh yeah. It's a
Okay.
whole series.
Okay.
And I love like the introduction is pretty cool. You know, they say, "Hi, I'm Michael Jordan. You know, I'm gonna do this, whatever." And then they get to Rodman, and he's like, "I'm Dennis Rodman. What's up?"
I'm Dennis Rodman, ambassador to North Korea.
I know.
Sup?
Yeah, dude.
I've been inside Carmen Electra too,
Yeah.
and she's been inside me.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I remember being a kid, like 8th, 9th grade. You know, you're discussing with your buddies, like, okay, you gotta to bang Pamela Anderson, but she's gotta like do you first, right? Do you do it? And now I look forward to it.
Yeah, like, now I'm begging for it.
Yeah, no, back then I was like, ew, you probably. Or like, would you eat her butt? I'm like, ooh, that's a tough call. Now I'm like, so things have changed.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, we lost our stream deck. Oh well.
So it was cool to see. Oh shit! How did that happen? So it was cool to see. Mike did it somehow from over there. It was cool to see because it brought back some memories. It was right. We were 8, 9, 10, 11 when Jordan was going on the three-peat to the next three-peat. I remember at my family events, my dads and uncle, all my dads.
All your dads?
And my uncles would get together around the TV and watch Jordan around Christmas time and all that stuff. It became appointment television. So I'm geeked to see the rest of it. It's pretty cool. As soon as you slow-bows leave my house, slow-bow Ilajevsky. He's a soccer player.
He was also a coach with STLFC for a while, wasn't he? Slow-bow.
Precky, I think it was. Precky.
Oh, Precky. He can't say whiz?
Grass. He was the best, dude. That dude was the...
Precky was a player.
He was the man. So yeah, just seeing, and it made me miss sports a little bit, but it's just,
I want some World Cup soccer right now, bud.
I would love.
We're gonna cover that. Bobby Battlehawk, you guys didn't know he's a big fan.
We're primed for a big run.
I'll tell you what, you guys don't even know about Bobby Barcelona yet.
Oh shit!
But Barca.
Oh, he'll wear a scarf.
He's Bobby's.
He'll do it. He'll do it in front of everybody.
I've got a poncho.
Okay. No one likes
Mike,
to brag
we
it.
know, Mike. We know.
You're wearing it right now.
Duh.
Mike, what have you been watching?
So I watched Business of Drugs. It's on Netflix.
Started it.
Dude.
So
the
good.
CIA analyst who followed her dad and then
So
decided instead of terror on, she went terror on drugs.
I watched the Coke
starting
episode.
to follow. Yeah, I finished that and then I started the second episode.
Yeah, the
Oh,
weed
man.
one is like
Limited.
episode 5. It's just very much breaking down the economics.
Yes.
Dude, would they say Escobar at his height made $60,000 a day?
More than that, even. Dude, his empire.
And I think that was the beginning.
They spent the most mind-blowing stats I've ever heard. I had a whole fucking slew of these Escobar stats. There were a couple. One, they lost over $1 billion to spoilage. Rats eating the money.
Yes.
Okay? But the most mind-bending stat was that they spent $250,000 a month on rubber bands to hold the cash.
No.
$250,000 in rubber bands a month to hold their cash.
Wow.
That is ballin'.
Coke's one hell of a drug.
That's a ballin'.
One hell of a drug.
Business of Drugs is what's called?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really
On
cool.
Netflix.
I feel like I
cannabis
started
one.
the very first one. I don't know. I probably passed out
It's
real
new.
quick.
It's really
Okay.
new.
All right.
Really
It's
new.
good.
Yeah, but it's good.
Well, I'll give you one I tried to watch.
Okay.
Disney Plus.
Oh.
I don't get it, guys. I don't get Hamilton. I don't get it, but
Nope.
I love
I'm with
theater.
you. I'm with you.
I love
don't.
musical
It was on in the
theater.
background, and I was like,
Don't do it.
it's
I
all
love
right.
musical theater,
I'm not
and
with
I don't get it.
Your comments were so good on Facebook. Like, this better get a lot better. 15
I'm
minutes.
13 minutes in, and I needed to pick it up.
I need to go.
I was struggling, and dude,
And
even
that's
the
your jam. You love stuff like that.
I love early American history. I
Yeah.
love the founding
It's right up
father
your
stuff.
alley.
It was right up my alley. I'm like, dude, it is time. I've got to watch this. And I'm 13 minutes in, and I'm like, I can't do 3 hours of rap battles, guys. If that's where we're living, I can't do it.
Did it get
I'm not
better?
I only
Shut
made it
down.
17 minutes, so I don't.
Damn, that next 5 minutes was
No, and I gotta tell you guys, it haunted me the next day. I'm
4
like, you're better than this. You've got to be able to sit down and drink this in. This is a piece of American history. It's a piece of pop culture that will go down for age, like one of the most successful Broadway productions of all time. What is the matter with you? I keep telling myself I'm going to go back, and every time I think about it, I just put my glands up on the table and smash it with a hammer.
That is, if you watch the preview for Hamilton, it is just a guy
Just
bashing
smashing his glands, right? Just wham!
which I thought was weird.
So one of my favorite documentaries of all time. It was, I think, up for Oscars several years ago, but Exit Through the Gift Shop, which was like it was a story that followed Banksy and the documentarian that
guy's
was following Banksy, right? And I love Banksy.
It ends up becoming about that guy.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
that's kind of that's what made it just an incredible, piece of pop culture itself.
Yeah,
Is like
it's cool.
it actually became a documentary about this guy who's documented every minute of his and his family's life. This guy, it was kind of a ruse. Like, it was a way for him to give himself a lot of cachet, right? Like, it was
sure.
about Banksy, but it turned into this thing. Anyway, A really cool documentary. If you haven't seen Exit Through the Gift Shop,
That's
check it
good.
out. But on Amazon Prime, they have a
How many you
new.
gonna pick?
This is it. On Amazon Prime, this is the one I watched this week. They have a new Banksy documentary. It's called Banksy and the Rise of Outlaw Art.
Ooh,
And
daddy likey.
so it covers street
Banksy's
art.
got the best
It covers
street
street
art
art. It
ever.
opens up with his great prank that happened at Sotheby's, where somebody bought the girl holding the red balloon painting. Did you see this?
No.
It's one of the coolest things ever. I'll show you the video of it. It sells for like 1.2 million. Okay, I think it's like like 850,000 pounds. As soon as the gavel hits, sold. This beeping starts happening from the frame, and the picture drops out the bottom and goes through a shredder. And he shredded the painting after it sold for $1 million too. So anyway, that's the type of awesome artist that Banksy is. He turns, and guess what? And now that piece of art is worth exponentially more than it was, all shredded up, hanging out of the frame because of the moment that it was in history, because of the Lebenskunst, because of the art that happened in the moment. Thanks to Ryan Watts for teaching me that awesome German word we talked about months ago. There was a part in the movie where Banksy, who is from Bristol. Bristol's kind of a...
They know who it is now?
No. Well, I mean, kind of always.
Like
I've got an idea of who it is. There's been
JFK Jr.?
It's JFK Jr. How'd you know? There has been somebody like Reddit has all these detectives. Basically, they were trying to tie whether or not, like, where Banksy's art installations were popping up coincided with any live music that was happening. And there is a pretty strong theory out there that it's the front man from
Goo Goo
Massive
Dolls.
Attack. Massive Attack. So
Massive Attack, Goo
Yeah,
Goo
yeah.
Dolls.
Goo Goo Dolls. Johnny Resnick. Yeah, that's who. But there's a scene. Bristol was kind of a real industrious town, and during Margaret Thatcher's reign as prime minister, a lot of the manufacturing and factory work was moved to Asia and things like this, and this town was really got seedy. And but then kind of this underground art scene started popping up. This is right around the time that rave culture started really popping off. So Banksy's like first piece in Bristol was this teddy bear, which was like a very prominent logo on the ecstasy pills that were given out in rave clubs. It was him being apprehended by these bobbies, these British police. And it was this, basically it was his crying out, and it ties into what we experience with the cannabis community and with the psychedelic community. This was in the early 90s, and he was saying, man, we're just kids having a good time just loving one another. What is the crime in that? And so it was kind of all born. His street art was born from this cry out for what we talk about, which is like just a level of understanding that we don't need you to police how we experience each other, how we experiment with our consciousness, how we expand our ability to love. We shouldn't be asking for permission for this. And that was like, for me, that's what kind of stuck out to me. I'm into Banksy. I watch anything that's Banksy anytime. Super into his art installations.
So weird how they've tried to outlaw expressions of love.
And that's the
throughout
other deal
history.
too, is like even with graffiti, like the history of graffiti, and like like there was a time when it was just like tagging and being very territorial and maybe not the most aesthetically pleasing, but then like some real artists started laying some shit down, and now we're at a point where cities are
flood wall.
The flood wall, exactly. They're commissioning artists to come and brighten up otherwise blighted areas.
No doubt.
And Banksy certainly isn't the first.
You watched this? You finished it?
Yeah, I don't think I saw the last 10, 15. But I watched most of it. But that really stuck out to me, especially with the experience that we had on the rivers. Like,
I love that.
Who are we hurting? Who are we hurting? I don't need you to protect me from myself. Nobody's in danger here. Nobody has been in danger here until you introduced weapons and force.
Yeah, and we're the type of people, if you're a game person, we're worried about the fish and the animals' ability to live a quality life. You know what I mean? I can see a game warden being out there. You guys out here poaching all the largemouth out of the... I'm more worried about those people than I am like...
No doubt.
Oh, this guy's doing whatever they do on the river, and Whoa,
This guy's
joint
drinking.
roach?
This guy's drinking a fifth of whiskey out of a plastic bottle. He's totally okay, but
Yeah,
a,
he's
but
about
a
to punch his
spent
wife in
roach.
the head.
That was my pick.
It's good. I will
Yeah,
watch
man.
it. What's it called again?
Banksy and the Rise of Outlaw Art.
And it's on Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Is it new?
Oh yeah, it just came out 2020.
Badass.
Yeah.
All right,
It's a little bit drier. It's definitely a little bit drier than Exit Through the Bank Shop, but it's still fun. There's a lot of really cool contributors. When I think about local artists and stuff, even on our page, we talked Pete Wolliger's on our page.
Yeah.
He does all the eyes.
Yeah.
My buddy Wiley Ross did the big
unreal.
Willie Nelson and Janis Joplin murals all throughout Austin, Texas. To see those guys and hear, some of the people that inspired them. I know Wiley was heavily inspired by Basquiat, and Pete said he was more of a I'll get his name, Keith Haring fan, and both of those guys are kind of they're a part of the focus, like being prominent street artists, people that brought thought-provoking art to the streets, to where they were taking things that needed to be talked about but couldn't really be talked about with major media outlets, and they made it a focal point on the streets where people had no choice but to at least confront the thought project that they were. And that to me, street art art is thought-provoking anyway. Street art, the way that it can
That outlaw nature,
tap
dude.
in, no doubt that people risked fines, risked imprisonment,
'cause art
just
is
to
like,
get other people to think.
A museum. Okay, it's very elitist.
That's where
policy.
Banksy made a name for himself. Is he would make a painting that would be like the Mona Lisa, but instead of her face, it would be like a smiley face from an ecstasy pill, and then he would pin it up in the
Really?
Louvre, in between two of them. He'd just walk up in a trench coat, a hat, and glasses. Walk up, stick it on the wall, walk out of there, and all of a sudden, they would remove them many times, but then it became like this thing where these museums were starting to catch on, these galleries were starting to catch on, and they're like, oh shit, this is what brings the people in.
What's your favorite Banksy one?
My favorite piece of art of his.
I love the Twin Towers with the flower growing out of it.
That's pretty awesome.
The little girl, I believe, who's going, or the little boy who's got his tongue open, and it's a trash can fire on the other corner of a wall.
Yep.
And it's like this kid just in heaven, and it's like.
I like a lot of his, pieces of policemen listening in on a phone call.
Yeah.
That's awesome. The one probably on the wall in Israel that basically divides the Israelis
What
and the
is that one?
Palestinians. I'll pull it up here.
He also had the one where he blew up balloons that said a certain thing and put it over. And it's crazy when his art pops up, it's a commotion because in reality, whoever's storefront that he painted this on, they get a hefty sum of money because they get to sell. They're chiseling the brick out so that they can take that to a gallery and sell it. It's wild that he's created an entire economy around his thing, and he's kind of I don't know if you call him anti-capitalism, but he's very astute at pointing out the flaws in systems.
Of the man. Yeah, of the man. I'll tell you what, rather than me, he's got 119 installations on the West Bank barrier. A lot of it's like pulling back the walls so they can see blue skies on the other side,
Wow.
Really, really cool stuff. So if you get an opportunity, check out all of Banksy's work.
Wow.
A little girl frisking a soldier, yeah. His work always, it always kind of at least gets me thinking, and I think that's probably the goal of any artist, right? Is like, at least let me occupy your mind space for a minute and see how you feel about it, see how you react to it. So, that's my pick, man.
That's cool. I will 100% watch that.
Check it out. I guess it's that time.
We did it.
Isn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Mondays
Thank
are for
you.
the Hoosiers. Thank you to Sweet Leaf Emporium. We got big doings coming with Jason Long and Sweet Leaf.
One more time. Mike, give me that pipe. Oh, never mind. I got it, buddy.
Yes, shout that out. Sweet Leaf Emporium
They help us do
donated
things
this
like this.
Brian Clark piece. We have a Fundly. If you go through the comments, there's a Fundly link. For every $5 that you donate, you're going to get an entry to win this custom Brian Clark piece. It is absolutely awesome. 100% of the proceeds will go to Nolan's Tribe for Cannabis Warriors. And
I'm just kidding.
we're just trying to. This is an opportunity for. I mean, I don't know what's that, a $75 pipe, $60, $75 pipe, $69.99. Okay, you for a $5 shot, you can own it. And honestly, like it's the perfect little size. It's got a nice fat little carb on it. That's the biggest thing with these spoons, man. You got to have a good carb. You got to have a good carb,
I
dude.
talked to Jason, and he had a big piece of glass, and he's been, just kind of coaching me and blowing glass a little bit. That's what he calls it. And he had a big piece of glass and made a chillum end to it. And I was like, dude, that's a great marketing thing. You got the world's biggest chillum. And it was like, oh, sweet. So he cut it down, but it was so big that you had to put a big old carb on it because all of it
Couldn't draw it all the way through.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's like a Giants one in it. Dude. It was so funny. It's
That's
so
fucking
stupid.
awesome.
It's so stupid.
They make it possible. James Carlton State Farm's been here since the beginning. CarltonInsurance.net.
was
Guys,
my
give him a shot at your business. I'm looking at potentially adding a new little car to the fleet, and he's going to save me money. I don't know how he does it.
Hexes.
Hexes on the moon, I think. Lifetime Roofing.
Roof.
Guys, they do exterior work.
The hexing of the moon is one of my favorite things.
They do exterior work. They'll even put a roof on your house. And if you ask them nicely, they could probably put a skylight in your roof so that you can hex the moon.
Someone came to our group and they go, I don't know what this group is, but if y'all are part of that hexing of the moon that's going on, I want no part of it.
I'm out of here.
Like, what the?
I don't know. Native hemp extract, Steve.
Delicious.
It is the best cannabis sativa L product that I've ever used. 1,800 milligrams, total cannabinoid goodness. Get my neurons firing.
That's what's cool. I get to hear about people who suffer with pain and anxiety, different ailments, and this appears to be helping them alleviate some of their symptoms.
Just cognitive function. Just holding a conversation with you. One little dropper gets me in a spot, bud. It gets me in a real good spot, bud.
I know.
I mean, it's poutine and hockey, bud.
Oh, man. It's licorice and Teddy Graham.
Teddy Graham. What's up, Teddy Graham?
What's up, Teddy Graham?
Yeah. Guys, I had a good time.
It was good.
True Man's and Soulard, can't wait till that place opens back up, dude. It'll be a total snooch fest.
Snooch party.
Snooch party up there, dude.
And Spanish Society Outreach. We got to make it.
I love Spanish Society Outreach. Spanish Society, basically.
I love Brian and Andy.
They were so, and Dan, there's all those guys down there, Gino.
I know
they played such a huge part in how cool that wedding went off. Like, lighting, tables, chairs. Like, give them a fucking round of applause, bud. I can't thank them enough. We've got some events coming up. We're doing Hoosier Prom, bud. We're doing it.
Are we?
We're fucking doing it.
August 29th.
At the very least, we're doing the wash tournament September 26th.
Yeah, we'll
down at the Spanish Society. I'm going to have, you know what I'm going to do for about 20 hours that day? Chocolate! It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. There's some big doings going on down there. Maybe potentially getting a little property next door, new little dedicated parking. Ooh, it's going to be nice down there, buddy. Little Southside Haven. It's been a place where we have been able to make countless Hoosier memories.
The Spanish Society.
And it's our stomping grounds, man. So check out Spanish Society Outreach. The whole idea behind it is we were already raising money for a bunch of people, and it would be really nice to have this organization that is able to help people in real time as they need it, rather than waiting for an event to come up every year. So this is an opportunity to fill this nonprofit's coffers so that they can dish out help as it's needed. And we've raised tens of thousands of dollars the past couple years, and we're just going to keep doing more bigger things.
I was going over it. I was going over it in my head, like how many dollars we've raised, and I was like, I just stopped counting, like
at like $2.6 million. I did
exactly.
Yeah.
But just reminiscing on all that stuff. Not that we're the greatest guys in the world or anything.
Top three.
But it just felt good to be at it for so long, and now to have the Spanish Society, a place where we can do stuff. We plan on doing build a band night kind of deal.
Oh, dude, a
Play
little open
guitar.
mic night.
Nathan wants to be a part of it, and then we'll do a tip jar, and the tip jar goes to
Damn
whatever
right.
the
Damn
Spanish
right.
outreach.
This group is awash with talent. That's something that was really fun to see the first timers at Cotillion be like, "Whoa, where did this guy come from?"
Dude, Nathan, just sitting in the shadows. We finally
I
got
know.
him out there,
I got it.
and he was getting audible like.
He made God wet.
One of my favorite things of all time.
Corey with his ukulele,
God, that song.
and Andrew Wiscombe got my little peeper excited. He got it standing to attention. he wants to do a show with Obscene and Stone, my cousins.
What?
And we were talking about you got missing the Lumineers. She had a little Lumineers concert going the other day. We listened through that. They were due to open for the Lumineers, and New Hampshire or Vermont, one
They
of the two.
belong.
They do belong there. And you and I have
'Cause
talked
follow
about
them
that
on
for a year and a
Instagram.
half. If you haven't checked out Obscene and Stone and you're into folk Americana, it's my cousin, and I'm
Mother,
not just saying
Father,
because
is
they're
that the name of
family.
that
They're
one song?
great. Mother and Father's
was our last
awesome.
concert.
Obscene and Stone is tremendous. Yeah, we went and saw them at Foam. Yep,
Yeah.
sure enough. Unbelievable little show. Anyway, they were supposed to open for the Lumineers. Due to COVID, that's been postponed till at least next year. Andrew's like, let's get a show together. And it is my dream for Hoosier Sophisticate to present this little Americana. I mean, world-class Americana music.
World
Get
class.
Ryan Watts up there, Andrew Wiscombe, Michelle Moonshine, and
Elgin.
Obscene and Stone. And Steve will probably do a cover or two of Jack Johnson.
No way.
We're going to get it.
That right in the
That's
middle of
We'll
all
just
that.
slap it right in the middle of there, bud. It'll be great.
It'll be deep cuts. Some people think I wrote them.
Slap it a bass.
Slap it a bass.
Slap it a
Slap it a
bath. Slap it a bath.
Let's kick this pig. What do you think,
Let's do it.
guys? I don't know. This is the part, I guess, where we bless you and you have your way. So, Steve, run them through the hand motions.
Et nomine Patri, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Take us out.
That's your cue, babe.
Take us out.
Yeah, take it.